Yeah, I thought that was pretty appropriate music, given the topic, given the individual we're covering today. I thought that was pretty appropriate. So today we're going to be looking at a very infamous person. I wouldn't say he's a user. MovieBob is a lot more than a user. I don't even know I don't think monster would be quite the word to use to describe him, but some word along those lines. And I'm joined today with someone who typically likes to review and analyze movies for fun. Film nerd here. I don't know if he's here. I just realized that I was muted on Discord, but not on stream. I was introducing you.
Oh shit.
No. It was my fault. I have the stream audio up, just not the Discord audio. There, that's better. That's better.
Okay. All
Yes,
right.
greetings, goers of YouTube. Just call me Dr. Storm, and I'm here with Film Nerd today to look at MovieBob.
Why am I here again?
I wanted to have you on, and you thought that MovieBob would be a interesting topic to cover.
Oh, right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
I was like, oh, what's a user to look at? MovieBob. He movies, film. He talks about movies. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, seems fitting.
He talks a lot. He talks about a lot more than movies, though. We might get into some of that, but we'll go into we'll start with one of his not necessarily about movies, but this sort of gives you the impression of how Bob views himself.
Yeah.
I think you said you looked a little bit into MovieBob, like the Magic Mush video.
Yeah, I did. And I've also tried to watch some of his regular videos, and I just can never like get into them because he talks so fast that it's like I'm like, wait, what are you trying to say? Like I literally have to like slow the video down so I can understand what he's saying because he just talks so fast.
They have to do that on they've had to do that on EFAP too, just to understand, like, okay, what the fuck are you saying?
Yeah, I think I mean, I know the reason why he talks so fast is because he's imitating Yahtzee from Zero Punctuation, but I also feel like he's talking so fast so that way you don't realize that what he's saying is complete bullshit.
I mean, he believes it to be. I mean, he doesn't believe it to be bullshit, though. That's the thing. I think it's more so to emulate Yahtzee, because that's like his that's his inspiration, or like his rival back when he was on The Escapist.
Yeah.
MovieBob video. Someone said MovieBob videos are slightly more comprehensible Lily Orchard videos.
I can believe it.
Yeah. Hold on. There, the stream preview's caught up for me on YouTube. All right, so this is a video to give you an idea of like how Bob views himself and how much he prides himself in what he does. It's called "With Great Power." Yeah, we don't care. It's an old video, but it's still funny. I reviewed a 10-year-old review, and people loved it for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
With great power.
Okay, nerds, geeks, assorted and/or confederated dorkwads, we need to talk. Geek culture here return.
We need to talk, guys. This is between you and me. This is between Uncle Bob here.
Yeah, all you fucking normies better get out of here.
Yeah, leave the room. Especially, if you're a pretty girl, if you're a geek, stay. But you're probably in short supply.
Increasingly amorphous mix of fandoms, subcultures, hobbies, etc., has always been known for strong opinions and very specific lines of demarcation. But there was always one thing that united all of it: a shared sense of overriding persecution by, or at least callous dismissal from, the so-called mainstream popular culture.
So he starts off the video. He starts off this battle cry by saying, "Okay, guys, we were always fucking bullied. Okay, that's what we have in common. We were always picked on." What's the song?
Yeah, we were always given like swirlies and thrown into lockers and shit.
I mean, I don't know what there's we is, Bob, but I mean, I wasn't that. I mean, I was very autistic as a child, but I wasn't bullied like Calvin there was.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly got picked on when I was a kid, but never to that extent.
Liquid Snappy with $10. MovieBob versus Andrew Dobson. Who's winning? That's a tough one. If we're talking about in a fight, Dobson might be able to outmaneuver him, but if we're talking about in an eating competition, Bob wins. Bob solos.
Yeah, I don't think Andrew Dobson could quite eat as much McDonald's as MovieBob can.
Yeah.
Culture. In other words, for the bulk of the period wherein various nerd subcultures had a sense of themselves as a subculture, they tended to define themselves not just as what they were, but what they weren't. To be geek.
Okay. I already have to go back to decipher this. What the fuck did he say?
Mainstream popular culture. In other words, for the bulk of the period wherein various nerd subcultures had a sense of themselves as a subculture, they tended to define themselves not just as what they were, but what they weren't. To be geek was also to be an iconoclast, willingly separate from and even rebellious against a larger, more powerful, and infrequently threatening mainstream culture.
I find it interesting how he uses that Fairly Odd Parents episode, because that entire episode is supposed to be them in a comic, so like everyone is like technically geeky in some way, right? in that setting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We were outsiders, outcasts, and self-styled rebels. Keyword in that sentence, though, were, because however marginalized and maligned we thought we were for a long run of this whole thing, we sure as hell aren't anymore. Oh, individually we may still be, to be sure, and not every aspect of any culture is
Well, I mean, isn't being a rebel typically a positive thing? So isn't it a bad thing that you're not a rebel anymore, Bob?
I mean, I guess it depends on what you mean by rebel. And I mean, I kind of get the point he's trying to get across. I guess he's trying to say that like the stuff that used to be like for geeks and nerds back in the day is now considered the mainstream. So maybe it's like we like nerds don't feel as special anymore as they used to. But I don't know.
The impression I've got from this video was gamers rise up, unironically.
going
Yeah, it does kind of give off that energy.
be widely accepted, but in the big grand scheme of things right now, geek culture and the vast spectrum of nerd ephemera has largely come to dominate what we used to call the mainstream culture. Hollywood used to scramble to get their biggest movies into international festivals like Cannes for maximum exposure. Now they want to go to the San Diego Comic-Con. HBO's current
Well, I mean, they probably care about the film festivals more though. It's just they show the movies off at Comic-Con, don't they?
Yeah.
Because
I mean, the film festivals where they get like the distribution deals and whatnot. Comic-Con is more like giving a big show to the audience, saying like, "Look forward to all these new movies we got coming out this year."
yeah, like you expect like general viewers to be at Comic-Con, not really like the people that are gonna change your life forever. So they probably
Yeah.
do still want to. They probably do still appeal to canons to some extent, probably more so than Comic-Con. It's just ad space essentially.
Pretty
answer
much.
to The Sopranos is Game of Thrones. Gadget fetishism is now hip. The functional space between the culture of computer
I mean, headphones are a very basic thing, Bob. Like a lot of people used headphones. Even back then, a lot of people who weren't nerds used headphones. Because you showed
Yeah.
headphones there, I think.
exposure. Now they want to go to the San Diego Comic-Con. HBO's current answer to The Sopranos is Game of Thrones. Gadget fetishism is now hip. The functional space between the culture of computer nerds and the digitally unified mainstream world can be measured in microns. Pacific Rim is one of the most advertised movies on ESPN. Speaking of
Wow, this really dates this fucking video, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
I mean,
Also, like, of course, Pacific Rim's going to get, massive amounts of exposure. It was a big Warner Brothers movie from Guillermo del Toro. Like, I mean, sure, maybe it's a little odd to promote it on ES. Well, I guess not even then, because the movie is essentially giant robots fighting giant monsters. Like, I think sports fans would still get a kick out of seeing, giant things fight each other.
I mean, at that point, I don't think monster movies were really that like geeky, were they?
Yeah, I mean, that was just because I think when it came out, that was a year before the real American Godzilla came out. I don't know.
I mean, also disaster movies like Roland Emmerich's movies, like those were pretty popular for a time.
Yeah.
And this
Mhm.
this has made me think back to Luigi's Mansion 3. I know this sounds like a very random autistic tangent, but when Luigi serves as an actor for like the director Ghost Guy, one of the movies they parody is like Godzilla, because not because Godzilla's nerdy, but like something like Godzilla is like what you typically think of when you think of a big movie. Oh, a monster attacking places. So it wouldn't be
Yeah.
very
Well, I
surprising that a
also
movie like Pacific Rim would be like popular or mainstream. Well, as mainstream as it could get, because I don't
Yeah.
know how popular it really was in the end.
Well, I think unfortunately it because I think it did make money, but it actually opened at number 2 right behind like some Adam Sandler movie. It might have been like Grown Ups 2 or something.
Oh, that's.
Yeah.
Maybe Bob does have a point. I don't know. Maybe I'm the stupid one. I'm
Yeah.
not on Bob's level. I'm not the type of person who should be viewing this movie. Perhaps maybe you are, but I'm not.
Yeah.
ESPN. Have you seen what sports culture has morphed into over the last decade? Looks kind of familiar to me. Video
Oh, it's D&D, guys. It's D&D. Do you think Bob has ever actually played a game of D&D in his life?
I highly doubt it.
I don't think Bob's mind would be able to comprehend D&D. I mean, fuck, I don't fucking understand D&D that much, though I kind of just casually play it now and then.
Yeah,
Like,
I've
oh.
never played D&D. I'm certainly curious enough to try D&D, but I just never really got into it.
I mean, I was curious too, but like a lot of D&D is just like sitting around while everyone else tries to decide what to do. Then when it gets to you, it's like I'm kind of burned out trying to think of what to do. It's like I guess just the most sensible thing, you know? Yeah, not that's not this isn't me bashing D&D. It's like it's for other people more than it is for me. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, same here.
Video games are both cutting edge, trendy to the point of obnoxiousness, and also so ubiquitous that they're kind of square. Top man
I'm sorry. What did he say? That
cave accessory culture has morphed into over the last decade looks kind of familiar to me.
I also just realized, does he not realize that, like, football has always had strategy drawn on charts and on whiteboards? Like, has he never seen that popular stereotype where, like, the coach is drawing on a whiteboard in the locker room? Because that was a thing in,
I
like, the
mean,
fucking 80s
this is
even,
movie
wasn't
Bob
it?
we're talking about. He probably doesn't know much of anything about sports.
Do you think he even knows what a football looks like?
I highly doubt it. I mean, aside from maybe like Charlie Brown cartoons, but I doubt it.
Jake Batterson brought up, wasn't Pacific Rim wasn't it huge in China? It might have been, actually.
I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, that's the reason why we got so many Transformers movies, is because they were all huge hits in China until they weren't.
Yeah, movies, they used to cater a lot of movies to China back in, like, the early 2010s.
Yeah, and
I know
well, and I
Transformers
think
4 was made to cater to China in every capacity.
I've heard that that's kind of the reason why we got so many remakes and reboots, was because a lot of movies weren't available to China for many years, so they made all these remakes and reboots to kind of get Chinese viewers interested, I guess.
Well, I mean, why can't they just like re-release the fucking movies over there?
I guess maybe because they're worried that like modern audiences would find the movies like old or dated or not I don't know.
Dude, the fucking myth of the modern audience, that is such bullshit. Where is the modern audiences? Is the modern audience in the room with us right now?
Yes, if you're a part of the modern audience, please let us know.
Because apparently Hollywood wants you, but they still haven't found you, so they keep ruining shit that we like. So please just bring yourself forward. This is not a request. Turn yourself in.
Yeah.
Kevin Mitchell said, ping both of us. Does MovieBob review animated kids movies? I think I know he's at least reviewed The Incredibles 2. He's probably reviewed like a good number of Disney and Pixar films.
Yeah, I did see that he recently put up a video of the Lilo and Stitch remake.
Oh, what did he think of it?
I didn't watch it because, one, I don't want to give Movie Bob the views, and two, I don't care to know about the movie.
I mean, we're giving Movie Bob the view right now. It's not like it's gonna matter that much to him.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, the way I see it, even if someone is like as reprehensible of a person as Bob, as long as they're entertaining, it's like fucking throwing a penny to a musician on the street, even though the musician's probably not a heinous person. Like you've entertained me in the moment, so here for your troubles.
Fair enough.
Is he still with Film Theory actually? Because I know like I said this with you. I said this to you. It's kind of wild that Bob has been between. He's been between Screw Attack, The Escapist, and Film Theory with Matt Pat. Like all those three entities. Like, and he's somehow never been in Channel Awesome itself.
Yeah. I'm checking out the Film Theory's channel. He's not listed in the credits because they did a video a few days ago on Lilo and Stitch. He's not listed in the credits. I don't know if that's just like one random video or not, but I don't know. Okay, I feel like we're going off on a tangent here because now I'm like genuinely curious.
I know that Bob was credited in a Godzilla versus Kong video on their channel.
Yeah.
What did Movie Bob do apart from being a bit unhinged on Twitter? I mean, he hasn't done anything heinous. Like, well, I was about to say he's not a pedophile, but then I remember he did give Cuties a positive review. So make of that what you will.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'd say the most heinous thing he did was like act like kind of a creepy stalker towards Lindsay Ellis. But I mean, that's a whole other thing.
Well, I'll just bring that up quick. Hold on. Let me just change views so I can bring this up on Lindsay Ellis Movie Bob. We're just gonna bring this up quick. If you don't know about this, this is a very This is a very funny piece of movie Bob lore.
Yeah.
Let me just. Actually, no. I realize I can just bring it up on stream. So let me just add an image quick. Movie Bob. Movie Bob Ellis. Let's just call it that. Because it's a very well known piece of. It's pretty recent, but it's very well known and it's very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. All right, so here it is right here. So this is in a thread. Some random person's like, even if what they said is true, what's wrong with having a group chat, Lamau? Excuse me. Like, it's not some secret nefarious thing. I have group chats. It's nice to have a place to talk to friends. And then Lindsay Ellis replies with, I know, right? I've uncovered the conspiracy of ... people being friends with their peers. And then Bob comes in and says, I, for one, am positively shocked. And he just posts a selfie of him and her, and he's holding a thumbs up. And then Lindsay Ellis says, this is honestly really inappropriate and creepy, dude. A selfie at a con several years ago does not mean we are friends. Also, the fact that I have soft blocked you like 6 times and you always refollow is creepy. Take the hint and please leave me alone. Like, she just fucking publicly executed Movie Bob in some fucking thread. I don't know if she was the first tweet, or if this was the original tweet. I'm assuming this is a reply, but like if someone else had the first tweet, like how do they feel knowing that they're somehow part of they're somehow part of like the Movie Bob lore by causing this to happen indirectly?
I don't know how I would feel. I mean, I'd probably just end it after that.
I don't know if I'd end it. It's just like, what have I done? Do I have more power than I realize?
Yeah.
Really? Oh yeah, but eventually Lindsay Ellis made a Raya video that her fan base was like they didn't like, and so it led to her leaving the internet. And so after that, now people just say Movie Bob won because of that.
Yeah, well, I think because I know there was a video she did where she talked about the whole Movie Bob drama, and she did apologize at the very least, saying that the way she handled it wasn't the right way to handle it, like doing it all publicly and whatnot. Like she should have taken it.
She said yes, even Movie Bob.
Yeah, but I mean, Anna, it's. Well, I mean, technically, she's still around because I think she did a video not so long ago about Yoko Ono that's on YouTube. So, I mean, she's not like gone completely. She's still around, just not as big as she used to be.
Right, yeah. Random Blau with 2 pounds. Looks like Bob has 2 lazy eyes in that selfie. I mean, yeah, it was an old pic. It was a pretty old pic.
And it does. Yeah.
All right, let's see how Bob keeps talking about what makes him proud rather than what makes him look pathetic.
Video games are both cutting-edge trendy to the point of obnoxiousness, and also...
They're cutting-edge trendy to the point of obnoxiousness. I mean, when would you say games started being mainstream?
I would say probably like around the time that the Xbox 360 came out. I'd say that's when games really got mainstream, because I think that was like when because that was when you had like a lot of big titles coming out, like big AAA blockbuster titles, and like when game tournaments became a really big thing. I don't know. I guess maybe because like I don't know. Or maybe like when the PS2 first came out. Like I'd say that's probably when they got really mainstream, but I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah, because like the PS2 would have been like 10 years before this video or something, and the 360 came out around the 360 was a generation around the time of this video. So maybe Bob does kind of have a point here.
So ubiquitous that they're kind of square. Top man.
I guess he's saying that games are so popular that they're cutting edge, but then they're also simple. It's like I feel like there's always been a diversity in video games, hasn't there been?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I know like the Wii was a big thing and I think that's kind of his point about like them being cutting edge but also simpler, because at the time motion controls were kind of a big thing like that had never been done before, and that's what kind of made it as popular as it was. But it was also simple in the sense that a lot of the games that came out for the Wii, with a few exceptions, were pretty basic, like Wii Sports or any of the numerous amounts of shovelware that came out
Oh, there was a lot of
had
shovelware on the
that
Wii.
barely worked. Yeah.
I guess Punch Out would have been pretty simple too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rayman, Raven,
Let's see.
Rabbids.
Jake Patterson. Yeah. Jake Patterson in chat is saying, Dr. Storm, are you Ebert and his film nerd Siskel? No, I would be Ebert because I'm much fatter.
Uh, why would I be Siskel then?
I don't know, because Siskel was like the skinny one and Ebert was the fat one.
I mean, Magilu's body isn't necessarily mine.
Yeah, but I don't know. And I'm also seeing average tokusatsu enjoyer. What are your thoughts on the two upcoming Predator movies? I don't know that much about them. I know that Dan Trachtenberg, I think is his name, the guy who did Prey and 10 Cloverfield Lane's working on at least one of them, and that alone has me excited.
Excuse me. When someone mentions Wii, all I can
You're fine.
think of is those dumbass Dobson comics about the boy and the cat. I'm not sure which Dobson comic you're talking about.
Yeah.
And cave accessories went from antlers and taps to arcade stand-ups, pinball, and more high-end video tech than the Starship Enterprise.
I mean, I say man caves probably always had TVs, right?
Yeah, they have. I mean, granted, like man caves generally, if they have big TVs, it's just so they can watch the big like football game or whatever.
He's like, oh well, now it's all video games and arcade cabinets. Like, I don't know many people that have arcade cabinets because like it's kind of a gimmick to have an arcade cabinet. I'm thinking like, yeah, you can play it whenever you want, but how often do you actually play it?
Yeah, exactly. Like I remember I worked at a company and they had like I think it was like a Donkey Kong machine in the corner, and it was like, yeah, it's cool that we have this thing, but to my knowledge, nobody really used it.
I mean, I mean, especially now that you can just play a lot of arcade classics on your consoles and PCs, and you only have to
Hmm.
pay for it once, and you don't have to keep chucking in quarters. I mean, arcades are cool as like a
Yeah.
novelty. There's like a barcade where in a town where I am, but like I don't really go to it.
Yeah,
Dark's.
there's a couple. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna read Dark Star Empress. Dark Star Empress. I can't read the whole name. Dark Star
Dark
Empress.
Star Express Puppets.
Dark Star Express puppets with $2. Dobson and MovieBob are similar in many ways. Um, sorry, excuse me. Nameless with 199. If you're taking suggestions, his Magneto video. It's funny. It's funny you mentioned that because there's a very specific reason we chose this video first.
Yeah.
But sorry, you were saying film nerd
Oh, I don't even remember what I was saying.
about like arcades.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say that there's like a few barcades near where I am, and I've been to one of them a couple times, and they're pretty fun. Just very noisy and very crowded, but they're pretty fun. They've actually got like an N64 setup where you can have like little Mario Kart and Mario Party tournaments. It's pretty fun.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah.
Hmm.
Speaking of the Enterprise, one of the biggest mass audience blockbuster movies this year was about Star Trek, while other contenders are built around Superman, Iron Man, and Wolverine. The Target Zero movie that every studio now wants to do their equivalent to is The Avengers. The original, not based on anything previous big movies this summer, include mech pilots fighting monsters and guys in powered armor invading a space.
I mean, comic book movies have been a thing for like some time before when this video was made, right? Like Spider-Man was pretty popular.
Yeah, and I mean, even before then, you had like the Superman movies with Christopher Reeve. You had like Tim Burton's Batman. You had Blade.
Batman has had so many
I
fucking
mean, granted,
movies
like,
before this.
yeah, I mean, granted, I would argue comic book movies are more popular like now, at least compared to back then. But yeah, it's not exactly a new thing.
I mean, Batman was successful to the point where it got 3 sequels, even if Batman and Robin fucking sucked dick.
Yeah, and I mean, Superman was successful enough to get 3 sequels, even though Superman 4 is pretty laughable.
I mean, Superman is like the mainstream hero that everyone knows. He's the superhero that like everyone knows about.
I mean, his name literally has super in it.
and just man.
Mm-hmm.
And then what was the other movie he said was a big hit? Star Trek, I guess. Oh, Star Trek Into Darkness was big. I mean,
Yeah, which I mean,
Star Trek had been around for like years before that, though, hadn't it?
yeah, I mean, it had been around for decades, and hell, the Star Trek Into Darkness wasn't even the first Star Trek movie. Like they have been making them since like the 70s.
Yeah, because there's been like there were like 8 Star Trek movies in the 70s. And like people and like
Yeah,
Leonard Nimoy was a very well known actor before he died. What's his most famous role? Fucking Spock.
yeah. Or for me and some of the other people in chat, I'm sure Galvatron from the animated Transformers movie.
Someone called me out. I didn't make a DD6 joke when I mentioned Batman and Robin, so I'm just gonna do it now. Bats nipples. Okay, Joel Schumacher. What the fuck? I love that. I love that part where he just screams like that because I just think of the Crow from Billy and Mandy saying that with how he just suddenly screams bat nipples. Bat nipples.
Yeah, I'm guessing nobody told D86 that Joel Schumacher was very openly gay.
I guess not. Well,
Yeah,
I mean, he probably can't acknowledge gay people because then Tamatoa would learn what gay people are and he'd be even more furious.
exactly.
Uh,
Real quick, I'm gonna read this one. Agumon T1 sent in $2 saying, "Hello, Fred Nerd." That's a whole thing. Long story short, Rogue Internet Man, who I'm a moderator for, he accidentally called me Fred instead of Film Nerd, and that kind of became a running joke.
Film Fred maybe could be a rebrand. I don't know.
Well, I remember in the stream where that happened, I very briefly renamed myself to Fred Nerd, and that kind of stuck.
I think Film Nerd sounds better, personally.
Yeah, yeah. And Jake Batterson's tagging me saying Schumacher also did the Lost Boys. Yeah, I know. He did that. He did Falling Down. He did what the fuck else? St. Elmo's Fire. He did a bunch of stuff.
Someone made a bet credit card joke about Tamatoa when someone likes boys. Nope, does not compute. Does not compute. All right, well, I just realized we're not even halfway through this MovieBob video, so let's keep going.
Yeah.
Space Station. My mother binge watches Once Upon a Time with the kind of attention I used to put toward Babylon 5. Doctor Who is
Okay, like people watch different TV shows. Why is this surprising to you that people watch television?
Yeah, I mean, such a novel concept. People watch TV shows, just not the same ones you watch.
Like he uses Once Upon a Time. Like I don't know much about that show. It was pretty popular when I was in high school, I guess. But like it's about fairy tales. It's like, what if he said something along the lines of, "My mom watches Say Yes for the Dress on TLC just as much as I binge Star Trek or something." Like,
Yeah.
is it the same? I don't know, Bob. It just sounds like he's surprised that people watch television. Like I watched a shit ton of cartoons when I was a kid.
Yeah, same here. I binge watched tons of Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon when I was a kid.
I mean, fuck, people probably binge watch. People would probably binge watch stuff in the '90s if they could with video stores.
Mm-hmm.
a popular TV show in the United States. Hell, that should be enough to end the point right there.
What's...
My mother binge watches Once Upon a Time with the kind of attention I used to put toward Babylon 5. Doctor Who is a popular TV show in the United States. Hell, that should be enough to end the point right there.
Is he aware of anime and how that's also popular in the United States? Like, look at Pokemon. Pokemon was very popular when it came out in the 90s in the US, the anime was.
I mean, I can speak from experience because I was there when it hit.
Yeah, I was there too when it hit. I didn't watch the show. I didn't really play the games. I saw some of the episodes of the show. I thought the Pokemon were neat. But like, why is he?
Yeah, I remember.
And why is he surprised that Doctor Who is popular in the U.S.? Like the show had been around. The show's been around since like the 70s or something, right? Possibly even longer.
Yeah, I think so.
It's like, like this show that's not made in the U.S. is popular in the U.S. Like, Bob, where do you think You do know that like we're not the only people making media, right?
Yeah, like I don't know. He does he not understand the concept of foreign films, as in movies made in places other than the
And
U.S.?
Nameless just made me realize Mario is made in Japan.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just weird that he framed it like this. Doctor Who is popular in the U.S. Like, is it supposed to not be,
Hmm.
despite the fact that it's made for British audiences? I don't.
Yeah.
Doctor Who is a popular TV show in the United States. Yeah, sure, some
Okay, you saying it and adding a fucking swear with a bleep in the middle, that does not make the point seem any more remarkable. It's still like, what are you even getting at here?
Yeah.
I just hate these fucking heads that he uses in his videos. Like, I don't know, there's something about them that makes me want to punch them, even more so than if I saw Bob's
Yeah.
face.
I don't get what the point of them is either.
It's Mimi said, "It's a me, movie Bob."
Yeah.
of this
Hello.
stuff will always be considered niche, but that hardly precludes cultural influence or power. NASCAR is still considered a niche sport because it's only really popular in certain parts of the United States, but niche in that case is worth billions of dollars, and as such, the sport's corporate masters have a lot of weight to throw around. My point is, for all
I mean, all these other pieces of media probably made millions of dollars too. What's your point?
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah, I don't see what he's.
it's probably makes millions of dollars because it's just like brand deals and stuff. Because a lot of the big companies are here in the States.
Hmm.
for all intents and purpose, we
Not to mention,
won.
like
The
every
popular
car in NASCAR has like a billion logos on it.
Yeah, why do you think that is?
Well, I mean, it's because of brand deals.
Well, that's what I mean. Well, I know, like the logos pay for the fucking cars.
Yeah, exactly.
You think Lightning McQueen just says that Rusty's on his hood because he wants to? No.
No, it's because Rusty's paid him to do that.
culture, chiefly of North
He's embarrassed by the commercials in the movie. That's the point.
America, but thanks to globalism of increasingly the world has been remade in the image of, well, my bedroom.
Everyone's just like me now. It's amazing. Bob, if everyone was just like you, like humanity we all would have just killed ourselves even faster than we already could in the next few decades
Yeah,
or whatever.
exactly. I also like that on this image he had to put the caption, "Not my actual room." Like, yeah, okay. I mean, although to be fair, I really would have guessed this was his actual room.
I
given, like, all the
would
clutter
believe I would believe this could be Movie Bob's room.
Yeah.
Like,
Circa 1990.
I bet he wishes this was his room though, with how much bullshit is in here.
Yeah, exactly.
3 or so. This, more or less, is ours now. We, as a collective entity, are no longer some unusual growth on the side of the popular culture. We are, by and large, its driving force. The will that huge...
It's literally just gamers rise up. We have risen,
Yeah,
gamers.
it is.
We won. We did it.
Mhm.
swaths of the media and markets
Yeah.
bends to
There's no green. Oh yeah, right. Oh yeah, right. Mimi, you're right. Because he fucking painted his room green, including the door, because he couldn't afford a fucking green screen.
is our will, and the
I
trend
mean,
is
I guess
not
that's one way to do it, but
to be reversing anytime soon. We have the power. But, like the man said,
The fucking
sorry,
bass boost.
I just snickered at the He-Man theme.
Yeah. Like, of course, Bob would look up to He-Man and idolize him in such a way. It's like, I must use you to promote my point that we have risen, He-Man.
Yeah.
With great power comes great responsibility.
geek culture may have started out as a sanctuary and gradually transformed into an insurgency, but whatever it is now is
Insurgency? What are you talking about? People just kept doing business for years. It just caught on. There was no fight. You didn't have to fight for anything. Like, trends just took over. He's acting like this was his own personal Vietnam.
Which, I mean, he did say that the console wars were his personal Vietnam.
I mean, I guess that would make sense then.
Yeah, because,
Something
you
else.
know, the debate about which is better, the Super Nintendo or Sega Genesis, that's exactly like them dropping napalm in Vietnam.
The fucking Sonic fans just yelling slurs at Mario about Mario calling him gay, and then Bob just felt psychic pain from that. And then
Yeah,
and then
he
his
watches.
ears were ringing, and he was just crawling on the ground, seeing all the children bicker on the playground.
Yeah, he sees all those commercials saying like Sega does when Nintendo don't, and he suddenly gets like war flashbacks.
Entirely. And while the iconography of the bullied nerd will always be a key part of geek culture's internal mythology, I propose that it's time for us to accept and indeed
I'd say Martin is probably a better representation of a nerd than Milhouse is in The Simpsons. Wouldn't you agree?
I mean, I haven't watched a ton of Simpsons, but yeah, I could see that.
Because like Martin's actually intelligent. I mean, I guess Milhouse is probably more into like pop culture stuff, though.
embrace that the
Yeah.
defensive stance
I
of
like
a persecuted
Jake Betterson in the chat ping me. He said Apocalypse Now, but with Mario hats and Sonic costumes.
Who would be
Marlon Brando.
Who would be Marlon Brando's character? Would it just be Mario Brando?
Yeah, it would just be like, oh, the horror.
people no longer suits us, and that if we are to be the new mainstream, it is indeed incumbent upon us to take up the responsibility of that power to be a
Which is why you showed a joke from the Simpsons movie of Martin beating up a bunch of bullies instead of like helping them and like being humble towards them. Yeah, that makes sense, Bob.
better
Well,
mainstream
don't
than
you
what
know? Might makes right.
Bob does believe in that mentality.
came before.
He thinks that
Yeah, I'm not
he's mad at
surprised.
he's mad at the Nazis because they gave eugenics a bad name.
Yeah.
implying that if it was socially acceptable, he would 100% use that shit.
Because make no mistake, geek culture was never exactly perfect, and its flaws have unfortunately been magnified along with its cultural ubiquity. It was always an open secret, you see, that for all the pretense toward refuge for those who are different, geek culture was always chiefly thought of and built around really only one classical nerd archetype: white, male, heterosexual, cisgendered, first world with enough disposable income to afford their hobbies. And while it was common
I mean, there's probably a lot of simple stereotypes for others too, like the jocks, you know, like they've got the fucking leather jackets on. They're not smart. They do football. Like that's. I mean, it doesn't seem like there's much stereotypes and much room for that. Actually, now that I think about it, Urkel was a black nerd, wasn't he?
Yeah, he
That's not-
was.
that's
He
not a
was
white guy.
the stereotypical. Yeah, he was a stereotypical nerd, just black. And hell, he's showing an image from Revenge of the Nerds where one of the main characters who's a nerd is a black gay guy.
for idealized depictions of the culture to imagine that welcoming and understanding communities were the rule. After all, persecution must empathize with other persecution. Yes, in reality,
Seeing him use a Phineas and Ferb image feels wrong. Like, why are you using a show that recent, Bob? Like, I feel like you shouldn't have any knowledge of this show. I feel like you shouldn't have any scope of Phineas and Ferb for some reason. That's just weird.
Well, I mean, considering the types of media he enjoys, I'm sure he probably was a big fan of Phineas and Ferb.
I mean, I feel like Phineas and Ferb would have been past his time. He would have been. Bob seems like he'd be too stuck in the past in terms of cartoons.
Yeah, probably.
sexism
It's like how Doug Walker just sees like the 1980s Ninja Turtles as like the perfect Ninja Turtles to like compare everything to, which kind of makes him and James talking about it annoying. I'll come on T1 with $5. I want to remind everyone that this is the same guy who threw a funeral for a Nintendo Power Magazine ending.
Yeah, that happened.
That was his 9/11.
racism,
Yeah,
and other forms of
exactly.
cliquish and exclusionary behavior were often the ugly underbelly of the whole scene. Now, that never should have been the case, period, but it's especially out of place now that so-called geek culture is such a dominant force in pop.
It's interesting that he's using like Lisa Simpson, because like Lisa's like a nerd, but like she's a nerd in the sense that she's a goody two shoes. She doesn't care about like video games really, and like a lot of people don't like Lisa on The Simpsons at this point, especially because she's kind of just preachy.
Yeah.
She's more like a hippie than a nerd.
Popular culture.
Yeah,
A culture
I would agree.
I feel like a lot of like geeks wouldn't get along with Lisa.
that built so much of its
Probably
sense of
not.
self around resistance to persecution and oppression has no moral or logical rationale to become an oppressor itself when it attains a seat of power. And yet too often that's exactly what we've done. Online gaming and internet forum culture is an ocean of racist, sexist, homophobic, transphobic, and downright hateful rhetoric. The convention circuit
Hateful rhetoric. You don't let out hateful rhetoric, Bob. You don't fucking wish death upon people you don't agree with or anything. Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah, I mean, like Dr. Storm said, it's not like, you said that the Nazis made eugenics look bad.
Movie Bob has legitimately said there is no such thing as bad tactics, only bad targets.
Yeah.
act like enduring sexual harassment is some kind of acceptable entry fee for women. When someone even hints at talking about gender roles in video games, we act like it's Wounded Knee.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I wish people... I mean, I guess this was relevant around the time, but, like, I just watched a Regs video to Curiosity, and he was bringing up Anita Sarkeesian. He's like, let it the fuck go, dude. Come on. Like, no one cares anymore.
Yeah.
And we're the Lakota.
Yeah, it's over.
I don't care about this bitch. I didn't even care about this bitch in the first place. I didn't watch her shit.
Nonsense needs to stop.
Yeah, me
now
neither.
More than ever. If the self-described geek community now holds power in the mainstream, then it has a responsibility to wield that power for good. Geek culture all
Responsive. He's acting like he's acting like we conquered this land. No, he's acting like he's George Washington and like they won the Revolutionary War in this new land, the United States.
Yeah.
always presumed itself to be somehow ahead of the curve intellectually, philosophically, etc. Well, I propose that it's high time we started acting like it.
We're better than them, so we need to show them how it's done.
We who are unwelcome ought to be the most welcoming.
Yeah, gamers, rise up.
Claim to no persecution should now be champions for the persecuted. To simply cut down on or even purge bigotry and intolerance from our ranks is not enough. We should be using the power of those ranks to take the fight to hatred and back.
I was persecuted like you were, people who once were segregated against. I know what it's like. I'm gonna help you out.
Thinking.
Yeah, because clearly nerds getting picked on is the same thing as like what certain minority groups had to go through back in the 50s and 60s.
Or in the 1800s.
Yeah, but my point still stands.
Yeah.
Know exactly what form Geek Culture 3.0 will ultimately take, but I do know...
Wait, so what were 1.0 and 2.0, did he say?
I don't think so.
Someone said white savior complex in the chat. No, it's a geek savior complex.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we can't pick on you. We're superior to you, which is why we need to welcome you.
Know that it has the opportunity to be a progressive force, a force for good, a force for change. We always said we could do better, that we were better. It's time we proved that. I'm Bob, and that's the big picture.
I'd say you... Why would anyone ever buy this shirt? This shirt is so fucking ass. It's just a guy. It's just with this ugly head saying comics are weird and it's stretched out. There's so much space not being used.
Yeah, I even if it were like $10, I wouldn't buy that.
It's like with Shaq Fu and the ET game. We need to find all the copies and either burn them or bury them in the desert.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So the moral of the story is Bob and his race are superior, and they need to. It's like we need to show them that we're the better people. And the reason I started with this, the thing is, like, I think he made this next video beforehand. There was a video he made that has a very different kind of rhetoric. So this is called Magneto Was Right. Let me go to the... Memo from the president. Title was reference to a quote from the then current X-Men comic storyline, not an actual endorsement of ideology. Duh. I mean, you still kind of agree with his line of thinking though in this video.
Yeah.
So, as a kid, I was bullied.
Off to a great fucking start. God. As a kid, I was bullied.
Yeah, I mean, Cry Me a River. Who wasn't bullied as a kid?
I mean, we knew this from the last video already, Bob. What's your point?
Most severely in grade school, but still plenty in high school, just not as physically because I suddenly turned into one of the tallest in my class. I didn't react to it too well.
Well, no, Bob. It's because you became too heavy to push over. Like, they couldn't move you.
Yeah, you basically turned into the boulder from the beginning of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
They didn't want to hurt their classmates if they push you because they just roll you over them.
Even to the point of occasionally becoming a genuine scumbag myself in projection, something I regret to this very day. To say that I'm not over it would be an understatement. I don't think there's an aspect
I don't know why you would ever publicly upload this to your YouTube channel saying that.
Yeah.
of my existence or psychology that isn't colored in some way by a lingering desire to somehow...
He also said he was a bit of a scumbag himself, so it's like, what are you getting at here, Bob? Should we listen to you or should we not?
Yeah, and also it's like, what exactly did you do that constitutes you being a scumbag?
I mean, Bob says a lot of heinous shit. I wouldn't really call him a scumbag. I would just call him an idiot.
Yeah.
Bob made it popular to cow tip in high school. That's called Bob tipping. Ha ha.
And then he lets out like an ear-piercing screech.
get back not only at all those who were cruel to me, but at the whole overriding social
Sounds like Bob needs to play The Last of Us 2 and learn that revenge bad, because that narrative's pretty good from what I've heard.
system that
I
allowed
can't speak to that because I never played Last of Us 2.
It's not.
it to happen in the first place, which I
Don't play Last of Us 2.
acknowledge is both sad and the worst
Okay.
possible way to deal with something like this, but whatever. Basically, planet Earth, you'd better hope I don't run out of bad movies to take this all out on. The
The fact he had to get a jab in at Michael Bay, you can especially tell when this fucking video was made.
Yeah.
You better hope I don't run out of bad movies to make fun of. Otherwise, who knows who could be the first victim?
Yeah.
Who knows who I'm
This is
going to
definitely,
consume first?
yeah, this is starting to give off like school shooter vibes to me.
He made this video before the other one, I think, but like, I don't know. It's so kind of interesting how you said that, Bob, and then you were saying shit like this before.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Real quick, Nameless in the chat is pinging me. He said, if you want a good revenge is bad story, watch Gargoyles. Yeah, don't worry, dude. I know. I watched that shit when I was a kid.
Mimi says Bob is an idiot. He uses his intelligence for evil. well, I mean, clearly he needs to get smarter then, because I don't see that much evil coming out of him. I just see him wanting to commit evil, but he can't.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
thing about bullying is, most of the time, it's inexplicable. You don't know why it's happening to you, or at least what the logic chain is behind the supposed why. Certain
Well, no, you can make assumptions like the bully is brought up in a bad home and is taking it out on you, or you did something to piss him off, or you're just an easy target.
whys can be easily
Yeah.
guessed at.
Sometimes people just bully for shits and giggles. Like they don't really need a reason to bully people.
Yeah.
Why pick on members of ethnic or racial minorities? Well, racism, duh. Why are gay kids or kids who are thought to be gay picked on? Well, lingering arcane superstitions about homosexuality being evil or sinful.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to bully the
by the
gays and the blacks, Like, I get that,
Also, I want to point out really quick that picture he used is of I think his name is Ted Haggard. He was a reverend who was caught doing meth with a male prostitute.
This guy right here.
No, the guy before when he was talking
racism,
about like
duh.
religious.
Why are gay
people.
kids or kids who are thought to be gay picked on? Well, lingering arcane
Oh, this guy.
Yeah, that guy. That's Ted Haggard. He got into like trouble because he like was doing meth and he would meet up with like a male prostitute. I'm not kidding.
Do you think Bob knows that?
I highly doubt it.
superstitions about homosexuality being evil or sinful. But what
I mean, they believe in like black cats and the boogeymen or something. It makes sense why they pick on the gay kids,
about everyone else?
Mhm.
What about weirdos and freaks and dweebs?
Well, no. Steve got picked on because he was black. Like you said, oh well, the black kids get picked on for racism. Duh.
Yeah.
Plebes? What about geeks? What about nerds? What about, well, me? Straighter than Brad Majors, whiter than Billy Quizboy's business partner? What had my crime against the standard?
Why did they pick on the black kids and the gay kids? Why'd they pick on me? Go pick out, but go pick on them. They make more sense as targets. Come on, guys, what are you doing? I'm white.
Yeah, I'm a white cisgendered straight male. Why are you picking on me?
How many of the interactions that led to Bob being bullied do you think begin with him opening his mouth?
Probably more than not.
Social order been? The standard response, of course, is because you were different. Now, is it just me, or did that ever strike anyone else as a particularly stupid sentiment? Everyone is different. Hell, I could personally attest that my bullies came in all shapes, sizes, and colors. It was a veritable rainbow coalition of torment.
Why did these black kids pick on the other black kids? Why did they pick on me? Is it because I'm white? Wait, no, it's because I don't know.
So I never really bought that because you were different thing, and it's been my...
I mean, Bob, you're very different from most people. Let's be honest here. Like, you say a lot of different things that nobody else would be brave enough to say.
Mm-hmm. Like endorsing eugenics and whatnot.
Nobody says, he's basically saying it makes no sense why you guys picked on me. You should go pick on the minorities. You have a reason to do it. I mean, that's how it comes across, unironically. Like, he doesn't understand how bad this makes him look.
Mm-hmm.
My experience that very few in similar...
Nameless in chat is saying, I'm half Asian, but the problem with my neighborhood isn't the jerks in school. It's people being too friendly for my taste.
Yeah, if people are too friendly, it can get a bit boring, I guess.
Situations did either. It's also been my experience that while we never get an answer, a lot of us know what we want the answer to be. That we were hated because we weren't just different, but somehow superior.
See, you just hate me because I'm better than all the black kids and the gay kids. Like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, nerds are like their own master race.
Yeah, it's up to them to like show them the way, show them how it's done. Be better, prove that you're better. Take them into Star Trek and fucking Ghostbusters or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
I've come to theorize that
comic book guy is literally you, dude. No, comic book guy is actually respectable to a degree. Comic book guy doesn't endorse eugenics. He probably doesn't even know what eugenics are, and that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
This notion,
or maybe not, because then he wouldn't be able to identify if he sees eugenics and it's bad. I don't know.
That social ostracism is actually a result of normal people's fear of some intangible supremacy of the misfit who is not merely different but better, is a reactive fantasy that exists somewhere on some level in the psyche of every nerd, geek, whoever suffered just for being.
Bro, you are not Superman. Fuck off. Superman is actually a good person, for one.
Yeah.
What would happen?
Also, like that. I was just gonna say that Superman analogy doesn't even make sense because Superman is just Superman. Clark Kent is like his disguise. It's not like he's a weakling that turns into a superhero. He's a superhero who disguises himself as a normal person. That analogy doesn't work.
He deliberately acts that way and uses that body posture so that he can blend in with humanity and be a human.
Yeah, like I mean, I guess it would make more sense like if I don't know, Spider-Man, because even then
after he gets bit by the spider, like
yeah,
they still got to keep the disguise up.
Yeah.
Cause there's like the scene like Superman wants to do football but he can't because he's too good at it. Like he would do football but he can't because he's got to lay low.
Yeah, or like in Man of Steel, you know, he saved all the kids, but his dad's like, well, maybe you shouldn't have because then you expose your powers.
What was I supposed to do? Just let him die?
I mean, maybe.
Oh, God. The DCU started off on such a bad foot and they kept going instead of just starting over. What a disaster. 10 years of dog shit and a couple good movies here and there. Never forget the fact that Superman fought racists on the radio. It even got made into a comic that's also about Superman accepting his alien origin. Whereas Bob, there's that Red Sun. I think this is like the Red Sun story. It was like it's like an Elseworld story. Like, what if Superman landed in Russia instead of the U.S. What if Superman ended up being
Mhm.
raised by MovieBob? How would he turn out?
Oh God, I don't even want to imagine that.
It's basically Brightburn 2 is just like, oh, MovieBob raises a new Superman person.
Oh,
Some, it's the not-so-secret driving force of their entire worldview. For others, it's perhaps a fleeting subconscious comfort that they don't even recognize. You can see ample evidence of this mindset informing much of the popular culture, particularly in the realms of sci-fi, fantasy, and anything else aimed at, well, you know. Think about the heroes of the
What it black kids that should have been bullied instead, Bob? At them?
yeah.
Incredibles, forced into the shadows of normal society, not for being bad, but for being too good at stuff. Dash said it better than I can.
Our powers made us special.
Well, it's not that they're too good at stuff, it's just that there were a lot of lawsuits involving what they were doing, you know?
Yeah, the fact that they were causing tons of property damage, and like there was that one guy who tried to unalive himself, but Mr. Incredible stopped it and caused him tons of pain.
Yeah. You didn't save my life, you ruined my death.
Yeah.
Like, you have to kind of not cause destruction while you're saving people, yeah.
Everyone's special, Dash.
Mhm.
Which is another way of saying no one is.
It's actually kind of a micro
Seeing this fucking 40-year-old consumer looking to a little animated boy for advice when it's very early on in the movie, like, I don't know, that seems kind of sad to me.
Yeah, it really does.
variation on objectivism, come to think of it. Perhaps the ultimate modern archetype is Harry Potter, teased, neglected, outright abused by his supposedly normal family of ordinary people, only to learn that he's not merely different from others, he's better, a born prodigy at wielding godlike supernatural powers. Welcome to every nerd's ultimate fantasy. Oh, okay, second to ultimate fantasy. Okay, third. Look, it's up there, okay?
I don't know who the second person was.
That was Princess Leia. Carrie Fisher.
Well,
That's her slave Leia outfit.
I know Leia. I mean the girl with the gun.
Oh, I think that's from Terminator: The Sarah Connor Chronicles. It was a TV show from like the late 2000s that came out. I want to say around the time that Terminator Salvation came out. It was meant to be like a series that bridged between that was about like Sarah Connor raising John Connor.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I know I come off as a bit of a gooner and whatnot, but like Bob, like you're really saying Bob saying that he would rather have like hot chicks than fucking the ability to destroy his enemies. Like, I don't know, that seems very out of character for him.
Yeah, it really does.
Like, I know it's probably a bit, but like, I don't know, Bob, that seemed too out of character for you.
It's not just that they don't understand you, it's that they're intimidated by you. And your bullies aren't just wrong, you could make them pay for it.
But, you know, we gotta be better. We gotta show them the way. We gotta take them in. We gotta take them in, guys. We gotta be better than them. But also, you know, like, what if though? You know, what if I could what if I could read Todd Robertson from high school and like, you know, I could shove an entire Millennium Falcon toy up his ass. What if I could do that? Huh, I wonder.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's the X-Men, a school for gifted youngsters, gifted in this case meaning natural
Very redundant use of the word gifted, but whatever.
born superheroes, literally referred to by science as Homo superior, who've been driven out of the normal world because people fear their extraordinary powers and abilities. Immature? A reactionary empowerment fantasy we should really just get over by now?
I'm looking at this image. It looks like Wolverine wants to stick his claws. Wolverine reminds me of Cyan Gangnam Style, looking at Psylocke's ass like that, like he screams, like, you know, when he screams at it. Like, I don't know. Like, I mostly just use this as an excuse to pause on Psylocke's ass. We'll keep going.
Well, maybe. After all, the oppression of nerds by normals thing kinda ends once you're out of the cesspit of high school and into the adult world, right?
Okay, exactly. Then get the fuck over it, dude. Why are you so mad about it?
Yeah, I mean, I was, picked on in like grade school and middle school, but you know what I did? I grew up. I got the fuck over it.
No, film nerd. You gotta go back in your reunion. You gotta set up some elaborate trap to like blow up the entire gymnasium while your bullies are in there.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Might be
Just
some
like,
bad targets,
that's
but at least you'll get some good targets.
yeah.
Or does it?
Yikes, yeah, so this next part is pretty indefensibly whiny. Bad 2011 Bob, bad. I'm surprised that he's just now retroactively playing damage control in an edit. Like he didn't do it for any of the stuff beforehand. He's doing it for what's coming up. So like this
Yeah.
implies that he still believes in everything he said. Like we need to it's like we are superior. We need to make them pay.
Yeah.
Also the thing about
And
X-Men.
real quick,
Sorry, you can go.
no, I was just gonna say, Jake Batterson in chat is tagging me. He says, "Don't people say The Incredibles is objectivist propaganda and Brad Bird is an Iran simp?" I plead the fifth.
I haven't heard anyone say that. I've only heard people say Incredibles 1 was good.
Yeah.
Forget that. Rather have a Twilight love story. Forget that. Rather have a Twilight love story with me, Lycon, and Hugo than being a god. I mean, some people are into that. I mean, Lighter basically has that because he's best in slot on that team. Lighter and Zuma Zone Zero, his two best teams are just third wheeling a gay couple because you've also got Astra Yao and Evelyn. But like I said though, it's insane that he's just now trying to like play damage control for what's coming up and not what was said before. Like he thinks that like, oh, I still hold on to this. I'm right to. We need to make them pay. So it's so weird that years later he's like, we need to open them in. Like I guess that's character growth, but like, what happened in between?
Yeah.
It's just like two extremes in one. It's just like two extremes, even though both extremes are incredibly egotistical and pretentious.
Think about the way the popular culture, even today, demonizes different people of extraordinary ability, particularly extraordinary intellect or outside the mainstream artistic vision. Think of all
Who demonizes Bob Ross?
I don't know.
Was he saying that? Hold on. Was he saying that people demonize Bob Ross?
Think about the way the popular culture, even today, demonizes.
I've never met a single person who demonized Bob Ross.
He was just only loved from all what I understand.
Yeah, I mean, if he was so demonized, people wouldn't be wearing shirts with his catchphrase all over it.
Different people of extraordinary ability, particularly extraordinary intellect or outside the mainstream artistic vision. Think of all.
I mean, I don't know. Is Bob Ross outside the mainstream? He's pretty well known. Like Deadpool did a parody of him.
Yeah, I wouldn't really call that like outside the mainstream.
He's like one of the most famous like painters like that.
Mm-hmm.
All the mad scientists, disturbed artists, or psychotic intellectuals.
So why the fuck did you show Bob Ross?
Think of how stupidity, simplicity, and
because clearly he's on the same level as Herbert West, a guy who is trying to reanimate the dead.
He's going on. It's like, oh, look at all these mad scientists. They're evil. Like, there's probably like some good scientist characters in media, aren't there? Like Doctor Who. He's a good scientist, isn't he?
I mean, I would assume. I have no idea. I don't watch Doctor Who.
Intellectualism are lionized. Think of how Bill Gates was seen as a supervillain for making billions in technology, while, say, Michael Jordan was an American hero for making billions by bouncing a ball. In fiction,
I mean, people don't. I mean, people say that people don't have a good reputation of Bill Gates probably because he made a lot of terrible decisions, and like like the higher up the social ladder you are, the more callous you can be in your decision making. I mean, Michael Jordan is probably in charge of a lot less than Bill Gates is.
Yeah, I mean, you could make the same analogy with Steve Jobs. I mean, it's still the same thing.
Like they weren't hated because they benefited technology or they were geeks. It was probably something they did. Like I don't know too much about Bill Gates, but I don't trust a lot of billionaires and millionaires.
Mm-hmm.
And highly
what about
educated
trillionaires?
I trust them even less.
So-called elitists turn out to be Hannibal Lecter. In real life, meanwhile, cannibal serial killers tend to have a vastly less refined background.
Is he really saying that Hannibal Lecter is like killing his reputation? Like it's a fucking movie. They probably like the idea. It's like, oh, like serial killers like this are usually pretty simple, but this is one that's intelligent. That's probably why people are scared of him.
Yeah.
No one wants to watch a movie about a dumb Hannibal Lecter or a dumb guy that does crimes.
Yeah, I
Now,
mean, people would find it more interesting to see like an intelligent villain than a really dumb one.
No one's gonna say that high intelligence makes you like a monster or anything. I mean, like it can, depending on the case, but like obviously not. Like high intelligence, even at this point in time, was like still respected.
Yeah.
obviously, there's some hyperbole in this. In reality, nerds aren't quite mutants, and we don't live in the world of the X-Men.
Yeah, you don't yeah, like nerds don't have pose the risk of just like one day just blowing up their entire neighborhood out of nowhere, which is kind of a problem with mutants. Kind of makes people on edge about mutants, honestly, that they could one day just blow up everything around them and they wouldn't even know.
Exactly.
But ask yourself, if it were, and we did, and you were a mutant, be honest. Whose team would you really end up on? The let's be nice and work with the people who hated and tormented us team, or the let's show those bastards who the world belongs to now team? I know where I'd be. Just saying.
It is so strange to me that he just did a complete 180 from this video. Like, how does this happen?
Mm-hmm.
What even is this guy's point? The guy's point is that the nerds need to rise up and take over and show them who's boss. We need to kick
Yeah,
them to the curb and make them retreat into the shadows while we dominate.
Yeah, his point is basically, that old saying of do unto others as that you'd want to have done unto you. Yeah, those people who picked on you and tormented you, you got to pick and torment on them back.
Oh wait, we actually won. Guys, we need to accept them. We need to show them that we're better. We have a reputation to uphold.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone saying Magneto is trash. We're talking about Marvel Rivals. No, I made Magneto. He's good in that game, but like apparently people are saying he's a trash villain. I mean, people are I mean, he's more of an anti-hero these days, isn't he?
I mean, I think I'm just more familiar with the X-Men movies than I am like the comics.
I mean, even in the movies, at some point, he became more of an anti-hero, I thought.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of complicated because if memory serves, his whole backstory was that he was like a Holocaust survivor, and that's why he had such a vindictive like hatred towards humanity. And I don't know. It's complicated.
Shinobi Pizza brought up an interesting point. I don't get why people in the Marvel Universe are okay with Spider-Man, Thor, and Captain America, but aren't okay with mutants. I think Spider-Man is sometimes targeted by anti-mutant groups, isn't he?
I'm not sure. I mean, Thor, I guess probably just because he's a god. But he like it's kind of the Paul thing of like his existence disproves the idea of a Judeo-Christian God, and Captain America, I guess, because he was like a super soldier and engineered by the government.
Yeah, like he was made to be a mascot for America, basically.
Yeah, but like I don't know. I guess maybe it's just because like none of the well, I guess with the exception of Thor, none of them were like born with their abilities. They like got those abilities.
I guess.
Yeah.
Someone said Berserker Goji said the point of Magneto is that he becomes everything he hates. It's astounding and concerning how many grown adults actually believe him and Killmonger are right. Same crowd that loves Last of Us too. I mean, yeah, summed it up pretty well. Like Magneto is not someone you're supposed to agree with. That's why he becomes that's why he becomes an anti-hero, because he learns the error of his ways. Isn't that how it usually goes? Like we need to work together with them.
Yeah, he realizes that he's slowly becoming the thing he set out to destroy.
Like it was literally fucking Nazis that kind of pushed him to this mindset.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't be like this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Bob, and that's the big picture.
What kind of woman would buy a shirt that just says the big picture with who would just buy a shirt that says the big picture with MovieBob on it? Why would you want this to stain your wardrobe?
I don't know. I mean, probably the same reason why anybody would buy any sort of YouTuber merch.
Which would be?
I don't know. I guess to show how much of a tool you are.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'll make sure. I'll keep that in mind if I ever sell merch, so I probably won't in the future.
Yeah.
So next up, we're not going to watch this whole review, but we sort of get more of an insight into Bob's bitterness in the beginning of this video. This is his review of Scream 4 from 2011.
Once upon a time, there was a little boy. He wasn't much to write home about, he didn't run the fastest, and he didn't get the best grades. But there was one thing he could do. He knew movies. He knew movies crazy good. Name a movie, he'd seen it. Have a trivia question, he'd answer it. He was the movie guy. Sure, it wasn't much of a talent.
The fact that he's using Lucas from Smash Bros. Brawl is just so funny to me. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But it was something. It was his. But then one day there came a horrible decade called the 90s, and in the 6th year of this horrible decade...
Hey, that's when I was born. Is that what you're saying? Is that Dr. Storm was born and then the world went to hell? I mean, okay.
I thought 91 was the year that everything went downhill because that's the year that Film Nerd was born.
Oh, I learned that you're 5 years older than me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I just realized Mario 64 came out this year, Bob. That has to have been like a light in the darkness, right?
Yeah.
Something happened that would change this boy's life forever. Intermittently worthwhile filmmaker Wes Craven and hack screenwriter Kevin Williamson collaborated on a generic deconstruction of cheesy slasher movies built around...
I don't think you need to define what deconstruction is first, Bob. I think you only expect intelligent people to be watching your content.
...around the premise that if you had Jamie Kennedy make tired...
Because, you know, all the dumb people, you want to get the fuck out. You want to burn them on the stake.
...postmodern reference to the genre of movie they were in, people would mistake you for an insightful satirist. They called the movie Scream, and it was a big hit, and thanks to it, suddenly every jackass with a VCR learned how to talk about cliches and genre formula and other stuff that only movie geeks used to care about. And that little boy from earlier, well, for many years after that, he could no longer use or even admit to possessing what used to be his special skill, without having to hear the cringe-inducing response, "Dude, kid, you sound just like that guy what was in Scream, yo!" But hey, it's not like I've got an axe to grind or anything. I have always...
Yeah, so you just in the beginning of this, Bob, this video, you can hear Bob's bitterness of knowing that he's no longer special. Which is also kind of weird, because he had that whole video saying it's like, oh, well, we're the mainstream now. It's like, but apparently you hate being mainstream because when everyone's special, no one will be.
No one is.
So what do you want, Bob? Do you want people to be into what you're into or not?
Yeah, I mean, like, as somebody who is a movie guy, like, I'm kind of glad that there are people out there who know, you know, more about movies than the general public does. Like, that's kind of the reason why I do what I do, is because I want to expose people to movies they might not have otherwise heard about. Like, you know, I don't want to gatekeep any of the shit I'm into. I want more people to be into it. So to like be so protective of this whole thing of like, oh, no one else can know as much about movies as I do. It's like, well, wouldn't you want people to know as much about movies as you do?
No, it's only for the elite. We gotta the ones that don't know about us. They probably bullied me in high school. Fuck them. They should have bullied the black kid instead.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly.
I mean, there's always like the risk of tourists and like people that it's not made for getting into it, you know. But like, I'd say I'd rather people like know about it. Though in recent years, at least on the internet, like it can feel like oh, the bigger fan base gets, the more toxic it gets. Like that just happens the more people get into something. Though it's inevitable.
Sure.
And, like you can just ignore them or like only pay attention to people who aren't fucking retarded. Oh yeah, I think that was the only part we wanted to see. So I think one of the you were looking through MovieBob's Rotten Tomatoes reviews. One that caught your eye was his Godzilla King of the Monsters review. What did he give that?
I think he gave it like an 8 out of 10 or even like a 10 out of 10. I can't remember exactly what he gave it, but he gave it a really high.
I think it was 10 out of 10.
Yeah, and I remember he said like this movie transcends cinema, and I'm just like, dude. I mean, obviously, I'm not. I mean, it's okay. It's not a very good movie, but like to say it like transcends cinema, it's like, dude, it's a movie about giant monsters fighting each other. Like, you know, that's awesome, but like it's not on the same level as like Citizen Kane or The Godfather. Like, why would you give it like a 10 out of 10? Like that's movie's like a 5 or 6 out of 10 at best. Like, and it's not even like the best of the newer Godzilla movies. Like, it's honestly, it's kind of one of the weaker ones.
I mean, because like the other ones at least have Godzilla and Kong like doing fun shit together, I guess.
Yeah, and like I don't know, I remember my biggest problem with Godzilla King of the Monsters was that they were trying to like philosophize a lot about the nature of Godzilla, like, you know, the whole I wonder who the real monsters are, and it's like I'm not here for this, you know, philosophizing bullshit. I just want to see Godzilla fight like King Ghidorah and whatnot. Like I don't care about this other stuff.
Oh my god, what if we're the virus?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Well, because right now in this playlist I was about to call him Godzilla. He's as big as Godzilla. Let's be fair. Movie Bob's review of Godzilla King of the Monsters. I found at least the beginning of it very interesting. Maybe we'll learn why he likes this film so much. I should warn you, at this point, you guys will be exposed to Movie Bob's actual face and not those horrible drawn heads. So be warned.
Yeah.
His intros are always so terrible. Like, they're just so generic. It's like, this isn't pulling me in.
Yeah.
Godzilla King of the Monsters is a sequel.
Yeah, that's what Movie Bob looks like.
Yeah.
And I want you guys to keep in mind that this isn't a green screen he's using. Bob, as you can see in the thumbnail, Bob just painted his entire room, including the door, green. He painted everything green in his room. He's not using a green screen, I don't think.
To both the 2014 reboot of Godzilla and 2017's Vietnam-era King Kong reimagining Kong Skull Island, nominally tied together by the presence of vaguely defined giant monster research organization Monarch, who were a major presence in Skull Island, but whom you probably don't...
It's more apparent here that he tries to do the Yahtzee thing where he talks fast because he thinks it's cool, but like Bob also uses a lot of...
Yeah.
He uses a lot of jargon and a lot of fucking words nobody cares about, so you just don't want to listen to him.
Don't remember from Godzilla because they didn't really figure into the last 10 to 15 minutes, and that's the only part of that dreary, boring slog of a movie worth remembering. Either way, the only
So apparently, so he doesn't like the first movie because there's not enough Godzilla, apparently.
Yeah, which I mean, it's a fair criticism, but to be fair, a lot of the older Godzilla movies, like Godzilla, I mean, he was obviously a factor in the movies, but a lot of those movies did focus a bit too much on the human character. So it's not exactly like a Godzilla movie not having a lot of Godzilla is like a foreign concept.
But I mean, does Godzilla appear about as much in King of the Monsters as he does in the first 2014 movie?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a few years since I've seen it. I remember, I'd say in King of the Monsters, he probably appears in it more than he did in the 2014 Godzilla.
I think I believe that. People are making fun of the fact that he's wearing sunglasses, and it's like, yeah, it looks. He's trying to look cool so bad. He's trying to look like a badass, but it doesn't work.
Yeah. Also, I like how, like, because of the green paint that he used in his room, it's like reflecting off of him.
Yeah.
It looks like he's got like gangrene on the sides of his face.
Bob probably has a lot of things wrong with his health.
Yeah.
thing you'd need to remember is that they were basically S.H.I.E.L.D. but for giant monsters, and Ken Watanabe's Dr. Serizawa was with them. He was the let them fight guy.
Let them fight.
Isn't Ken Watanabe a known actor? A pretty well-known actor? Or am I wrong?
Yeah, he is. No, I would say he's fairly well known. I mean, he was in movies like The Last Samurai and Inception.
And why does he act like nobody would know who he is? Especially as, like, let them fight. That was, like, the most popular line from the marketing, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
Like, of course they'd have, like, a big actor say that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know why anyone would decide to make a boring movie about a giant radioactive dinosaur either. Like, I know the first Godzilla...
I mean, we're looking at a video from a giant, boring, radioactive dinosaur, too. Well, I mean, maybe not radiation, but you're definitely toxicity.
back in the 50s was a
Yeah.
serious movie all about using monster movie tropes as a metaphor for the horrors of the nuclear age and the existential panic of Japan in the uncertain post-World War II Showa era, but they did like 25 or more movies after that that were all just crazy monster wrestling things, with like Godzilla and Rodan and Ghidra and Mothra and Anguirus and Hydra and King Caesar and Gigan and all those guys just throwing each other around.
So I haven't really seen any of Godzilla, but I have heard that Godzilla, one of the reasons he's valued is because he's sort of like flexible, like you can do whatever with him. That's what I've heard people compliment
more or
about
less.
Godzilla.
Yeah, because in the Showa era, like they did all kinds of different things with Godzilla. Like there was Godzilla versus Hedorah, where he fights a monster made from pollution, and it was meant to be like an environmentalist film. There was like Mothra versus Godzilla, where like the true villain of the movie was a guy who was like trying to profit off of Mothra because the egg like washed ashore and he turned it into a tourist attraction. And honestly, like because he's obviously hating on the fact that like the newer movie doesn't have all the big drag out knockdown fights from the older movies. Well, I mean, the Showa era was hardly anything perfect. I mean, it's kind of like what you said about well, maybe not quite as bad as like with the DCEU, but like with the Showa era, like there's certainly like pretty good movies in there, but there's also like a lot of really dog shit movies like Son of Godzilla or All Monsters Attack, where they were like obviously catering to children. And it like if you were to go from like the original Godzilla to like All Monsters Attack, you would not think they're from the same franchise, because one's like a serious dark, warm, metaphor for the horrors of war, and the other's like a really goofy dumb like kids movie.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like what happened with the Tim Burton Batman in a way.
Yeah, something like that.
So I guess you would
And
say
Jake Patterson is No, I was gonna say, Jake Patterson in the chat is saying, "Did you know you can purchase a collection of Godzilla films from Criterion Collection?" Not only did I know that, I actually own it, Jake. So thank you for that.
right. So how many Godzilla movies would you say? Would you say you're a Godzilla buff then, or no?
I mean, I haven't seen every Godzilla movie. I've seen like all the Showa era ones, which were like the ones from like the 60s and 70s, and I've seen like the first two of the Heisei era, that was like the 80s to about the mid 90s. I mean, I've seen a lot of Godzilla movies, but I wouldn't necessarily say I'm a Godzilla expert.
Right. So I mean, would you say Bob kind of has a point with what he's saying here about a lot of the older films?
I mean, I suppose, but I don't know. I mean, because the 2014 Godzilla, I don't think was supposed to be like one of those big like knockdown, drag out like Godzilla fight movies where Godzilla fights a bunch of monsters. It was more supposed to be kind of in line with the original Godzilla, where it's much slower. It's more about like the destruction and like I don't know. It wasn't meant to be the same kind of movie as like the older Showa era movies.
Right.
So what's the actual tradition here, you know? Like, I mean, there's a reason that people either become fans of the Godzilla movies when they're kids, like I certainly did, or not at all. I mean, I've never heard of anyone suddenly deciding they really liked Japanese stunt actors in puppet suits fighting in miniature cities.
I mean, I don't know. You can get into any franchise whenever, really.
Yeah,
I mean, it's never
and
too
I mean,
late to get into
technically,
something good.
like, I mean, I wasn't like a huge Godzilla fan when I was a kid, but like when I was a kid, I watched Power Rangers, and that used a lot of the same techniques as the Godzilla movies. Just guys in rubber suits fighting each other. I mean, in a way, that was kind of my precursor to Godzilla. So, even if it isn't the same thing, like it's still a very similar like kind of property that anybody could get into.
Cities
Yeah, I mean, like I got into fucking plenty of games in college, and I mostly just stuck with Nintendo for much of my childhood. I didn't get into a lot of games until college.
like in their 40s. Anyway,
Yeah.
the 2014 movie really kind
Or like games like Persona 5, where people start out with that because it's the newer one, or Monster Hunter World. Those are like the games that get them into those series.
of disappointed the hell out of me in retrospect. Skull Island, on the other hand, was good old-fashioned, crazy monster movie fun. Like, at the time, I called it the best movie Doug McClure never made, and I stand by that. And now...
Who's Doug McClure?
He was like an old timey Western actor. like he did a bunch of westerns in like the 50s, and then into like the 60s and 70s he did a bunch of B movies with titles like The Land Time for God or The People Time for God, just movies where he fought like giant rubber monsters.
I guess would that make sense then that he said that it's the best movie he never made?
I mean, kinda, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I haven't really seen a lot of the Doug McClure movies he's talking about, but I mean, I don't know if I'd really say Kong Skull Island was like that. I would say it's more like a Vietnam movie with a giant monkey in it.
Yeah, it seems like that. Seems like it takes itself a bit more seriously.
It does, but it also is a giant monster movie, so you still have like the fun spectacle of seeing a giant ape fighting like giant lizards and whatnot.
Maybe take down a couple helicopters.
Yeah.
King of the Monsters is... Holy shit, guys. This movie is so goddamn good. It's awesome! It's so awesome!
Oh, and here we get a look at the green room.
Yeah, this is Movie Bob's room. I just realized he didn't even commit all the way. This door right here is brown, but he fucking painted this door. He didn't even commit. What a fucking lazy bastard.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, what do we think of him geeking out like this? Would you say this is an appropriate film to geek out at like this?
I mean, no. I mean, I guess unless you're just fine with seeing a movie of giant I mean, I don't think so.
Yeah, I didn't think so either. Let's go back to the beginning of his.
Shit, guys, this movie is so...
I will compliment Bob, as overused as the record scratch is. At least he used it properly here, where you're supposed to be playing music and then have the record scratch. You're not supposed to just put in a record scratch when there's nothing playing.
Oh, god
Yeah.
damn. It's awesome! So awesome! It's so awesome! So awesome! Yeah! I haven't got the words. I just want to make like animal noises or something. It's so
Avengers
good.
Endgame fans be like,
Just see it. It doesn't need a review. It just needs to be seen. Yeah!
I don't know what to say about that. I really don't know what to make of that. That was just so sad considering the movie he's doing this for.
yeah.
It also
like,
sounded like he was trying not to wake up his grandma or something.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, honestly, I mean, I don't know if he still lives at home, but like, given what we've seen of him so far, I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, he wrote. His book is about how he moved out of his parents' house or whatever, and about Super Mario Brothers 3 at once. Apparently.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, in a story set
And
a few years
real quick, Semi Nobody in the chat brought up a good point. He said, I mean, the film is like Transformers 2007 movie. It's a fun action movie, but nothing groundbreaking. Yeah, honestly, it really is.
And he probably hates the Transformers movies. At least the ones after the first one.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair because the first one's not a great movie, but like everything that came after that is just
Not much worse.
Up until Bumblebee, they were all pretty trash.
Oh, Bumblebee actually was salvageable in some respects.
Yeah, Bumblebee, I would say was like the first good live action Transformers movie. Though part of it, I mean, I don't want to get too much into Michael Bay because I honestly don't hate Michael Bay, but like that he didn't direct that one, so that automatically made it better.
Yeah, so someone said this is just a Chester A. Bum review. You're right. It is like the Chester A. Bum reviews, but done badly.
Yeah, exactly.
after the events of the 2014 reboot, Godzilla himself has been joined by a handful of other giant-scale prehistoric monsters, the majority of whom are hibernating in secret underground locations being monitored by Monarch. As the film opens, the world's governments are very much of the opinion that they should just blow up all of the giant monsters while they can, because just a couple of them are already pretty damn destructive enough. Monarch, however, is operating under the theory that the creatures, including...
Well, I'm sorry, I cannot take Wanda Sykes seriously as, like, a government official. Like, she's like the last person I would expect to be a government official.
Godzilla himself are not simply
it's
monsters.
kind of the same way I felt about like Thunderbolts. Is like I can't really take Julia Louis-Dreyfus seriously as like a conniving like CIA agent or whatever. It's just
I mean, she was
every
on
time
that
I see her, I'm like,
one-
oh hey, it's a
I was about to say she was on that one show I think called Veep or something where she was on like a government position, right?
Yeah, but from what I understand, that show was more of a comedy,
Right.
which I feel like is what's because when I think of Julia Louis-Dreyfus, I think of Elaine from Seinfeld. I don't really think of like conniving, like underhanded, like CIA agent who's like trying to pull the
Yeah.
strings or whatever.
Or you think of North, where she was Frodo's mother, and she was also coincidentally married to George from Seinfeld.
Mm. Oh
But
God, I forgot about that movie.
What's the joke?
Yeah.
Titans,
Yeah, Siskel and Ebert really hated that movie too.
as in the Titans,
Yeah,
the original
I mean,
prehistoric
Ebert in his
gods,
review
were
literally said, "I hated this movie.
Hated
Hated this movie."
worshipped by the ancestral proto-civilization all of humanity from the beginning of time itself may have descended from. Therefore, while some of them might be evil, others might be good, and able to help with that, so we might not want to just kill them all. This debate is then complicated by the arrival of a third faction of militant eco-terrorists who believe that the Return of the Titans is actually Earth's version of a white blood cell rush being used to get rid of a bad case of humanity infection, and they plan to speed things up by kidnapping Vera Farmiga.
Oh my god, we are the virus. Bob was right. That's why this movie's a 10 out of 10.
Oh shit.
As monarch-aligned scientist and
I'm 14 and this is deep.
forcing her to use her one-of-a-kind Titan dog whistle technology, basically, to wake up the most powerful Titan of all,
Okay, the fucking cross. That is just such corny imagery with King Ghidorah there. Like, he's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, apparently. That's why the cross is there.
Monster Zero, aka King Ghidorah,
Yeah,
setting
well,
off
I mean,
a
the
chain
three heads, each one represents the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, that's why I said that. Because of the three heads.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, did he say King Ghidorah? I thought it was King Ghidorah.
The pronunciation's different. Like generally, it's King Ghidorah, but I think in some of the earlier Godzilla movies, they call him King Ghidra.
Oh, okay.
reaction.
I guess Godzilla's Japanese name is Gojira. Like, technically, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't until the first movie came to America that he became that it was called Godzilla.
God sounds awesome.
Ultimately draws the attention of Kyle Chandler as Farmiga's estranged husband, a whole crew of Monarch busybodies and soldiers with their own not helicarrier full of toys, literal wingman titans, Rodan and Mothra, and of course Godzilla. Lots and lots of Godzilla this time. And if that sounds like a really, really silly setup for a movie, it is. And it's also kind of just the first act of this one.
I think the fact that there's a lot of Godzilla is the only reason he likes this movie.
Yeah, which don't get me wrong, I love seeing Godzilla as much as the next guy, but like there is such a thing as too much of a good thing. Like, as much as I would love to see more Godzilla, if you show him too much, it kind of takes away from some of the impact.
Some people were saying it's like, oh, we should have had more K2SO, and Andor's like, I think we got the right amount, because like too much of him could like sort of make it hard to take seriously because he's more snarky. I don't know if you've seen Andor.
Yeah, I've seen the first season. I haven't seen the second one.
Oh, they managed not to shit the bed with the ending, and the second season was pretty good anyway.
Right on.
Because once that's out of the way and exactly one plot twist, albeit a pretty good one, has been unveiled, Godzilla King of the Monsters gets right down to the business.
What's he talking about with the plot twist?
I haven't seen this movie in years, so I don't remember if there was any major plot twist.
Okay.
Delivering giant
Maybe he'll tell us.
monster spectacle on a scale never before rendered in the most vivid and awe-inspiring detail possible. There isn't a single frame of monster action that doesn't already look ready for a poster print, and the earnestness with which it throws out setups like three-headed dragons annihilating entire cities with lightning bolts, flaming monster birds erupting from volcanoes, Mothra hovering in shafts of light like an insectine angel, or Godzilla charging into battle flanked by a squad of Monarch fighter jets, has all the madcap yet sincere energy of something storyboarded by a literal child. And
Notice how he's not talking about any of the human characters at all in this review.
Yeah, well, I mean, clearly the draw of this movie is the giant monsters, not the human characters. I don't know, because you go into a movie like this not really for the humans, you go into it for the monsters.
But the humans still take up a good amount, don't they?
Yeah, but that's kind of the same thing with like the Michael Bay Transformers movies. They focus so much on the human characters that the Transformers are secondary characters in their own franchise.
Yeah, I feel like he's bitched about the human characters too, but like The present the human characters would probably have to keep this from being a 10 out of 10 for him, right? Unless he's just that easy to trick.
Yeah,
He probably is, though.
probably. Mm-hmm.
Honestly, that's as it should be. I mean, this is the big budget Godzilla movie I used to dream about getting as a kid, and I never thought I actually would. And
I imagine Godzilla just nuking my old high school with all my bullies tied inside still. They just all stayed there because high school is forever. They don't move on past high school. They stayed there waiting to torment me again. But I moved on. I moved on to get Godzilla to fucking fry all of them to hell.
Exactly.
almost can't be objective about it. Like, it feels
Then you probably shouldn't review this movie.
wrong to review this movie with words as an adult. It's too
It seems like you haven't been using words. You were fucking raping the air earlier in your ugly green room about the movie.
Yeah.
pure for that. This is the kind of movie that can only be properly reviewed by an overstimulated kid smashing dinosaur toys together. And failing the presence of that, it's like Godzilla's all like, and King Ghidorah's all like, and they're like, and they team up with Rodan like.
This reminds me of some of the skitless reviews where Doug just uses like toys for them, like uses the T-Rex toy for his Jurassic World review.
Yeah.
Although of course it's like somewhat better than this. Not by much, but it's somewhat.
Yeah, just
The Mothra
slightly.
come in like.
Remember, guys, this man is superior to you. He's gonna show you the way, or he's gonna fucking kill all of you. Either one of those. I forget which one. It depends. It depends on it depends on what you believe in, I guess, what your political beliefs are.
Yeah. Also, someone in chat said, "Okay, someone please take this and put the Game Dude video audio over it."
Which
oh,
game
I know what
which,
he's talking about.
Wait, which Game Dude video?
The one where he's like reenacting an incident with his ex-girlfriend using dinosaur toys.
Oh God.
Yeah.
well, Bob right now is probably imagining that Godzilla is beating up all his bullies and he's Godzilla. That's why he's so into this.
Yeah.
With the tail. And then like maybe He-Man also come in because he's got the power. Yeah, He-Man, yeah.
Why did you have He-Man rape King Ghidorah? That was kind of weird.
The direction by
How much do you think that giant Bowser figure cost him?
Probably way too much.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I think you've fucked around with Legos before, so I don't know how much. Those are pretty expensive these days, aren't they?
Yeah, they can be. I mean, because I know there's like a big Godzilla. I mean, not Godzilla. A big Bowser Lego set that I'm sure Bob already has. That's like $300 or something like that.
Yeah, I just remembered the other day. There's like a $209 Lego set for Krusty Burger from The Simpsons. It's like $209.
Yeah, that's one that's
And they have Lou in there, but then they
Yeah.
have Chief Wiggum. It's like, bro, you have fucking Officer Lou in there, but no Chief Wiggum, and you have the audacity to charge $209. Fuck the hell off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, someone just said the Lego Krusty Burger is $210.
former low-budget horror
Yeah.
auteur Mike Dougherty is absolutely jaw-dropping, a career transition of the type on par with Sam Raimi and Peter Jackson's similar jumps into the blockbuster A-list at the turn of the century with Spider-Man and Lord of the Rings, and his screenplay with Zach Shield.
Dude, slow down. You're throwing around so many names. I don't know which topic we're talking about anymore.
Hits the perfect
Yeah.
balance of big, ridiculous pulp sci-fi nonsense and epic clash of God's power that the material demands. The performances are very good, with Watanabe once again being the stand.
This is what I mean. Like, you have to slow him down to decipher what he's saying, but I just don't care to because I know it's just drivel anyway.
Out with all the weighty gravitas scenes.
Yeah.
And Ziyi Zhang does really interesting work as a role that feels set up for future sequels and also kind of a walking Easter egg for hardcore Godzilla fans. Kyle Chandler is about the ideal guy for this kind of regular dude audience POV role, and Millie Bobby Brown shines as he and Farmiga's daughter in a key role. Now, are there more details and technical nuance I could delve into? I mean, sure, yeah, it's really quite a spectacularly well-made film, but what no academic analysis can properly convey is that Godzilla King of the Monsters is a transcendent, elevating, purely cinematic experience.
Man, he's just don't question it. Just consume the product and get excited for Godzilla and Kong fucking each other in the next movie.
It's the Avengers of giant monster movies. A perfect distillation of just why this entire genre exists in the
Do you even know what distillation is? You probably know what distilled water is because your veins are filled with fucking Dr. Pepper or some shit.
first place, and why we go.
He probably doesn't even. He probably has like an aversion to water. He's probably got like hydrophobia or something.
I know in EFAP they call him Diabeto as a joke. Like he's like Magneto, but he controls sugar instead of metal.
Go to the movies. So yeah, I say with complete sincerity, I'm giving this one 10 out of 10. Long live the king.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
that's a typical movie Bob review for you. Just
I just really quickly not. Oh, sorry.
No,
I was just gonna say not to not to shill my own shit, but I did a review of Godzilla King of the Monsters from 2014, and let me see. I'm trying to find it because I've got a bunch of shit. Okay, here we go. All right, so my review. What did I give it? Okay, I gave it a 70% out of 70%, which is like a 7 out of 10. I mean,
good.
even then, I feel like it might be a little. Yeah, it's I don't know. It's let's see. Yeah, sorry. I'm just looking at my review, and I'm saying like
we can bring up
okay,
your,
yeah.
we can
Here's
bring up
one
your
line I
review
have.
otherwise.
Okay. Yeah, that's totally fine. I can send you the link to it really quick, but
I'll just look
it's
it up.
not a there's no video. It's just a written review.
Oh, okay, yeah, link it to me then.
Yeah. All right. I'll send you the link. All right. There it is.
Just
I just sent it to you.
Just remember, Film Nerd, if you ever feel self-conscious about your own movie reviews, just look at Bob and realize that you can always be worse. All right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, and that's not even just for film reviews. That just goes for, like, anything. Just anything. At least you're not Movie Bob.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a positive role model in that respect. All right, so this is your thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have your... All right, so...
Yeah.
Follow the heroic efforts of the Cryptozoological Agency Monarch. Okay, yeah, you gave it 70. So that's, like, barely a good movie.
Yeah.
That's, like, the lowest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which part did you...
Yeah, you can just scroll down to the actual review.
This right here?
A little further up. Yeah, where it says review.
Yeah, well, Godzilla King of the Monsters delivers...
You don't have to...
Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, you don't have to read the entire thing, but there are a few lines I wanted to address, like... that like I mentioned that the characters in the 2014 movie were kind of uninteresting, but I was still invested in the story. And, that there was a lot of buildup to, Godzilla finally showing up. But then in the new movie, I said, and I quote, "Here the monsters are in the film so much that at times it becomes sensory overload and it gets overwhelming. It doesn't help that the story is fairly uninteresting and the dialogue largely consists of unnecessary philosophizing and exposition dumps."
So even with the human characters, there's too much of the monsters?
Yeah, exactly. And I even mentioned that the acting is good, and it is. I mean, granted, they're all some pretty good actors, but there's also really not much to them. And I even said they could have been played by anyone, and it wouldn't make a difference.
I feel like even with a monster, like you have to, you kind of have to use it sparingly, not have too many monsters, just so that an individual monster can stand out.
Yeah.
Which is they probably use the monsters more sparingly in the other films, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
And at least for like big Avengers movies, like they try to give each of their characters like their own movies before they do the big collaboration. Though how good each of those movies are, that's another story.
Mm-hmm.
But no, to Bob is a consumer though. Like if you throw a bunch of garbage at him, he'll just eat it up.
Exactly.
So I know his review of Pixels is one of his most popular reviews. I thought that might be funny to check out because being a geek and a nerd and a gamer, Bob is very Bob didn't like this one. We're gonna go from Bob giving something a 10 out of 10 to potentially like a 0 to 2 out of 10.
Yeah, which I mean, I'm sure is probably warranted because I haven't heard anything good about it. I never saw it because I don't care to, but like, I don't know. I mean, it's probably just like a dumb Adam Sandler movie. Like, I highly doubt it's gonna like, warrant any kind of ire or like anger or anything.
I've only seen the Nostalgia Critics review, and yeah, I believe it's bad.
Who is responsible for this? I demand that you show yourself. Who are you?
I have no words. I just don't, guys. I saw Pixels mere hours ago as of this writing, and I find myself incapable of putting what I'm feeling into words. Such is the magnitude of the disaster I've witnessed. Is this what cavemen felt like the first time they saw what to them must have looked like something literally eating the fucking sun? Is this that existential horror thing Lovecraft was talking about in between all the super uncomfortable anti-Semitic stuff? Pixels is an unmitigated piece of god-awful fucking dog shit. Its existence feels alternately like a poison or a genital infection. It is cinematic.
Yeah, what I find interesting is like usually when you see MovieBob scolding something, he's like trying to sound smart, sophisticated, like, oh, this is why it's bad. I'm above this. But here you're just like, okay, what the fuck have you done? You have fucked with my video games. This is the final straw.
Yeah, and also I'm just like, dude, calm the fuck down. I mean, okay, I'm not saying Pixels is good. I'm sure it's bad, but like there are far worse movies. Like I can pick out at least 5 movies off the top of my head that I guarantee you are worse than Pixels.
It's a dumb Adam Sandler movie where he hangs out with his friends. Like, what did you expect? What do you expect at this point? Like, honestly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Strychnine, celluloid, chlamydia. I shouldn't even be here right now. This isn't my jurisdiction. I'm a film critic. Pixels isn't a movie.
No, Bob, you're a gamer. You're a nerd. You're like an expert on how much they raped your childhood, Bob. That's what I thought.
Motherfucking active crime scene, and the crime is cultural vandalism. What we're
Bob, it's not even your fucking culture. It's technically the Japanese's culture. In a lot of these cases, like with Pac-Man and Donkey Kong,
faced with here is not simple.
Granted, Miyamoto probably like tried to make Mario appeal to Americans, but still,
The almost certainly worst major Hollywood movie that's going to come out this goddamn year, and easily the worst Adam Sandler movie where he's not doing a stupid fucking voice affectation, but the vomit and
I don't know. Like he does that. I don't know. Like he's pretty insufferable in 8 Crazy Nights, so some people probably like 8 Crazy Nights.
crusted year of the unholy assembly line transmutation of Generation X nostalgia into the quote-unquote geek corporate-branded marketing identity. The burning of the Library of Alexandria by way of the Hot Topic t-shirt printing press. Pixels...
Okay, dude, it's not like Adam Sandler killed Donkey Kong and raped him in front of you. Donkey Kong's getting a new game in like a month or so. Like he's still around. Chill.
Is bad enough to make you hate the thing.
Bob, do you need to talk to somebody? Like, do you need help?
Have you ever felt the way Bob does about something where you just want to make something like this?
I mean, I don't know, because like I guess off the top of my head, the only time I've ever been like really angry towards a movie was like the 5th Die Hard movie, and that's just because I love the original Die Hard. Like it's one of my all-time favorites, and that movie just felt like an insult to the franchise. And even then, it's like taken aside, it being a Die Hard movie, it was just an all-around terrible movie. But
was
like
that the one that was called A Good
I
Day
wouldn't
to
go
Die
out of
Hard?
Yeah, that one, it was terrible. Like, I mean, obviously it's not the kind of bad that would like make me want to like, wish death on like the filmmakers or whatever. It's just a terrible movie. And even then, like, yeah, I don't like it, but I can always just go back and watch the original Die Hard and, just ignore the 5th one.
Well,
but
yeah.
I mean, like, I guess Die Hard 5 would be the closest I've come to that, but even I'm not like that cringy enough to make a video where I, call it like cinematic chlamydia or whatever the fuck Bob says.
Cinematic chlamydia.
I can't remember exact. Yeah.
He used chlamydia for sure. Like I said this before when I covered SOK Surf's Up 2, right? It's like saying it ruined your childhood. It's just like, dude, like come on, like all this other shit is still around. Like just ignore the terrible shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing with like the Last Airbender movie. Like, yeah, it sucks, but you can still go back and watch the original show and just ignore the movie. Like, the movie's existence doesn't automatically nullify the existence of the original show.
No, it doesn't.
things you love, and watching it made me want to take a blowtorch to every scrap of video game memorabilia in my home, except then I'd have like 2 decent t-shirts maybe. I didn't merely hate this movie, I wanted to beat it slowly to death with a wiffle ball bat. So it
Why a wiffle ball bat? That's not going to do any damage, Bob. How strong do you think you are?
Yeah.
take fucking longer. I
Oh, he wants it to take longer. Okay, that's why.
was bored within 2 minutes, angry after
Okay.
5, and by the time all 100 had run out, I was just sad and numb.
I feel like Bob would get tired after like the first 3 swings. Like he'd be too pooped to even keep beating it to death.
Probably.
Yeah,
Also, my whole
you
thing is
say-
like,
B, you say you hope I never cover Herbie Hobbs. I mean, I looked at him with Joey like at some like month ago. I looked at one of his videos.
yeah.
Sorry, keep going.
But what I was gonna say is like, you know, Bob is saying like after like 5-10 minutes or whatever, I was already upset. I'm like, dude, if you hated the movie so much, you could just get up and walk out of the theater. Like, other than having to do a review of it, nothing's compelling you to. I mean, hell, even then, like you could just walk out and say, "Hey guys, I saw this movie for like a few minutes. I hated it, and I didn't want, and I refused to finish watching it." Like, you know, you don't necessarily. I mean, I guess if he wanted to do a review, it would be dishonest of him to not sit through the whole thing. But like, you can just walk out of the movie if you hate it that much. Like,
well, no, it's like
other
with
than
Harry
making a review.
It's like with Harry Thomas. He's got to sit through all 3 50 Shades of Grey movie, even though they're not marketed to him in the slightest.
Yeah.
Though in fairness, I guess
I know, 'cause-
Bob sees things like Pac-Man. It's like, oh, I should probably see it to support the yellow guy, you know?
Yeah.
Reminder that this is a Chris Columbus film nerd. Oh,
Yeah, I saw Jake Patterson was tagging me with that. Chris Columbus is the guy who directed the first 2 Home Alone movies and the first 2 Harry Potter movies, and I think he also directed Rent, the
jeez.
movie version of the musical.
Damn, I guess he was like just scrapping. He really wanted some quick cash, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Nintendo's usually pretty protective. I'm surprised they just gave Donkey Kong to Adam Sandler for one movie.
Yeah, well, I guess maybe it's just because like he's just one of many characters in the movie. Because it's not like if it were strictly a Donkey Kong movie, then Nintendo might have something to say. But like, you know, it's not just Donkey Kong. It's Donkey Kong, Pac-Man, Q*bert, you know, all these various different characters.
I mean, yeah, but like Nintendo at that point, they felt like really protective of their shit. Even
Yeah.
Which has now simmered into a fine, pure, white-hot, pants-shitting rage. This is the kind of movie that shouldn't be...
I mean, if white shit is coming out of your ass, Bob, that's coming out of your ass, and I think you need to see a doctor about that. That's a regular. Unless you let,
Yeah.
unless you bent over for Godzilla because of that, you love that one movie.
reviewed so much as fed through a malfunctioning industrial shredder. Cock first, as I have to assume is the custom over at Happy Madison. Ugh, fuck everything. But anyway, the plot to this tepid
I
call
love how the angriest he gets isn't even being bullied. It's just they made a shitty video game movie. My life is over.
Yeah.
cauldron of room temperature yak piss.
I was gonna say, in
inspired by
terms of video game movies, if he thinks this is bad, like he would shit a brick over Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
He probably knows about more. He probably lived through Mortal Kombat Annihilation. It was the second Vietnam.
Yeah,
charming
exactly.
animated short film from a few years ago whose creator I hope was well compensated at least, is that a race of aliens have misinterpreted samples of Earth's popular culture contained in a NASA probe for a declaration of war and have attacked the planet with an army of energy creatures mimicking the forms of circa 1982 arcade games included in said samples. That's not the worst mechanism for setting up what is effectively retro gamer Jumanji by way of a castrato cover of Mars Attack, assuming that's something you've decided needs to exist for some shit-awful reason. But in Sandler's typical combination of overwrought yet somehow still half-assed story structure, they can't just fucking leave things there. Instead, Pixels wants to shoehorn in a metric ton of Kevin Smith-style pop reference pandering in the form of another tired-as-hell man-child.
It's weird how he's complaining about pop reference when he was like jizzing over all the fucking monsters in Godzilla. Like these both seem like blatant fan service at the same level.
Yeah, it really does.
This one just touched Bob in the wrong place in a bad way, I guess.
Hero's journey. So the invaders opt to
Yeah.
challenge humanity to life-sized, real-life variations on one specific classic game at a time, leading Kevin James
But wait, it said nerd on his shirt though. Adam Sandler's a nerd, Bob. Why do you hate him? Is this nerd blackface? Like, is this the Big Bang Theory,
Yeah.
Bob?
James embattled
Mhm.
United States president. Fuck
Oh yeah, that's right. Kevin James is the fucking president in that movie. That's a choice.
Yeah.
really to
Well, I
conscript
mean, again,
Sandler.
a lot of these movies are just Adam Sandler hanging out with his buddies. So, I mean,
Yeah.
while it doesn't make sense to cast Kevin James the president, it at least makes sense why he's in the movie because him and Adam Sandler are good
Bro,
buddies.
but why cast him as the president? Like, I mean, maybe David Spade I could buy as the president, but Kevin James?
You got me.
Josh Gad and Peter Dinklage as a team of former competitive arcade champs to lead the battle, mostly by engaging in tacky, dated stereotypes about these loser, weirdo gaming nerds having to prove them.
Oh, that's why he hates the movie. That's it hits it. The movie bullied him like the jocks in high school did. Now it's making sense. Now his rage is making
Yeah.
sense.
Themselves against the skepticism of the army guys. Sidebar, the hell is Peter Dinklage doing in this pile of skid-marked sumo thong? I know a Lannister always pays his debts, but what the fuck does he owe anybody?
I mean, he owed them his service as an actor because Adam Sandler just drove a truck full of money to his house.
Sandler pull him out of a tire fire or something?
Yeah.
He doesn't have to do this shit.
No, they just gave him money. That's it. That's really it.
Hell, neither does Josh Gad. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure he still
or
gets
who knows? Maybe Peter Dinklage genuinely wanted to do this movie. Maybe he thought it would be a fun thing to
Oh,
do.
do I get to fight Donkey Kong? Sure, fuck it.
paid every time somebody buys one of those fucking Olaf.
He was having so much fun fighting Donkey Kong that he was tired by the time he had to voice that character in Destiny. Or maybe he did that for 4 Pixels.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know.
Dolls. Anyway, the whole
He just wanted to get through voicing the character in Destiny so he could rush to fight Donkey Kong
Scott
and get bored by Pac-Man.
Yeah,
Pilgrim-
exactly.
but for assholes routine with the game sequences is so overcomplicated yet poorly thought out you'd think they shot the fucking thing over a weekend, if not for how shamefully expensive it all looks. The rules, stakes, and mechanics change with no rhyme or reason. The humans play the good guy player role for the centipede scene, but then they have to be the ghosts in the Pac-Man sequence. Why? Who the fuck knows? The movie sure as hell doesn't care. At one point,
I mean, if it's different games, it's like different rules. It's not too much of a problem, I don't think.
entering a cheat code works for some reason without
Yeah.
explaining how it was entered and why it should matter. These
From what I heard about the cheat code, though, that doesn't make sense in the movie. Like, how do you? That's like a life hack. Like, how do you make your car how do you make your car teleport in real life? I think that happens in the movie.
I don't know.
aren't tiny nitpicks, though. These are major plot developments getting ground up into some of the worst action movie storytelling.
I find this interesting. I find it interesting. He takes issue with like plot holes and inconsistencies for the fucking Adam Sandler video game movie because it made fun of him. But then he has an entire video saying like maybe it's dumb to pick this stuff apart.
Since Transformers,
Yeah.
the second one. What do the aliens even want? Nobody seems to care. Sometimes they're evil, then in the next scene it's all about them being confused. At one point we're flat out told in a moment of important highlighted exposition that they were a peaceful world until they got a hold of our probe and could maybe be reasoned with, and then it's dropped one scene later, never to be fucking heard from again, because there's a few Donkey Kong jokes we haven't gotten to yet. There's the germ of an interesting idea dying from lack of oxygen within this shitstorm, i.e. so much of our popular culture being grounded in the mythologizing of warfare, competition, and the arbitrary winner-loser binary. Why wouldn't someone mistake it for a declaration of war? But that might have
I think I think another reason he's mad like because like this came out like years after this came out like after the with great power video. It's like, all right, we won the war, we're the dominators, and then it's like Adam Sandler came in like the fucking Unabomber trying to tear it all down for us. That
Yeah.
the pieces are starting to make sense. Adam Sandler
Yeah.
Adam Sandler is causing his 9/11. Like we're at our peak and he's trying to bring us down. Fuck this.
been interesting and insightful, and Pixels is clearly aiming for more of an advanced scrotal cancer kind of vibe. But what really
Advanced scrotal cancer.
Scrotal cancer.
That's somehow better than the chlamydia insult.
Yeah.
This is a weird way to say this movie's not funny. I mean, yeah, when Bob's mad, he spits venom.
turns the whole thing from just one more stupid fucking waste of time summer comedy into the waterfall of elephant jizz cascading into theaters this weekend is that it's so
Elephant
oppressively,
jizz?
endlessly, bald-faced cynical about the disingenuous appropriation of its own supposed reason for existing. There's
I'm kind of surprised it didn't make a reference.
Sorry, go.
Now I was gonna say with the elephant line, I'm surprised it didn't reference Freddy Got Fingered because there's a scene in that movie where Tom Green showers his dad in elephant cum.
I think maybe he like Men in Black that movie erased from his mind. I don't know.
I mean, honestly, I can't say I blame him because that is a genuinely awful movie.
Someone says he's trying to imitate James Rolfe. I mean, I don't know what he thinks of James. I don't know if he looks up to James or not. I genuinely don't know. But
Yeah.
this is like a very half-hearted AVGN like review. And the funny thing is, James would probably just review the movie as himself and not as the nerd.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bob with his, Semi Nobody brings up a good point. Bob with his typical way of speaking here, like, it doesn't work with the language he's emitting. It really doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Single interesting joke or visual gag making use of the presence of all the classic gaming iconography Sandler and his goon squad have been allowed to fuck around with. The supposed
He said goon squad. It's like that word means such a different goon means such a different thing these days.
Mm-hmm.
humorous use of every single pixelated creature in the movie never once rises beyond the level of, ha ha ha, I recognize that, which for some reason qualifies as a joke now. This isn't just keeping
Right, but when you see a monster you recognize in Godzilla, Bob, it makes you come all over your green room so that it turns it back into a white room. Yeah.
great art in a bad frame. This is using original Monets to wallpaper the porta potty in an IBS symposium.
Did he say porta party instead of porta potty? Or was that? Or
That's
was that
what
just,
it sounded like.
Was that just Bob's Boston accent like sneaking out? Like he's usually pretty good at hiding it, but then in some videos it just like he just can't hide it. Hold on.
Beyond the level of, ha ha ha, I recognize that, which for some reason qualifies as a joke now. This isn't just keeping great art in a bad frame. This is using original Monets to wallpaper the porta potty in an IBS symposium. This is the kind of
Yeah, he said
I think he did say porta party.
Porta
party.
Like Bob is like, hey, you want to come to play Mario 3 on my Switch? Come on down, everyone, especially you, Lindsay. I got a special seat here for you in the urinal.
Yeah.
of bad licensing-driven movie that's so fucking glib and self-satisfied with its own sleazy cash grab existence that it takes time out to make sure it also shits on the sort of more earnest, heartfelt version of the same idea someone who gave two shits might have made, as you've already seen in the trailers.
I think he plays a full clip of the movie, so I'm gonna skip past it for copyright.
The aliens beam down good incarnations of random game characters as trophies when the humans win a game, which literally only exists so Qbert can become a comic relief side character midway through. Except the aliens later refer to him as a traitor, which contradicts this, and oh my fucking god, did anyone proofread the shooting script for this gorilla turd? Still, Qbert briefly becomes the only decent, if pointless thing in the movie because he's cute and it's just kind of funny that he's there, but they find a way to fuck that up. See, another subplot is that Josh Gad's creepy basement nerd caricature is obsessed with a made-up female game heroine who shows up as one of the pixel monsters, but then switches side and helps him fight because reasons. And then he's sad because she vanishes with all the other aliens once the good guys win. Spoiler, fuck you, because they only get to keep the trophies, which then causes Qbert to magically transform into that.
Why is the lady like actually realistic and not pixels? Like I know the reason is because she's hot, but like still why?
Yeah.
Why in the context of the story?
I couldn't tell you. I didn't see it.
I didn't see it either. And Bob's not bothering to tell us. He's too filled with rage.
That same heroine for some cocksmith's idea of a fucking happy ending.
Did he say cocksmith? What was that word?
Once the good guys win, spoiler, fuck you, because they only get to keep the trophies, which then causes Qbert to magically transform into that same heroine for some cocksmith's idea of a fucking happy.
He said cocksmith. That's a new. I gotta add that to my vocabulary. Calling someone a cocksmith.
Yeah.
Someone who makes like absolute cock-a-doo-doo. I like that word. Thank you, Bob.
Yeah.
You're good for one thing in this world, and that's somehow you came up with the word cocksmith.
Happy ending. So Pixels ends with the only likable character and the only non-bullshit incarnation of its own premise blinking out of existence so that one of two vaguely prominent women characters in the entire cast can serve as a literal trophy. Holy fucking shit.
It's kind of weird he says this when he was gooning over Slave Leia and Sarah Connor in that one video about Magneto being right about killing all the bullies because they didn't try to kill all the black people.
Above all else is what's so irrationally infuriating about this maggot-oozing head wound of a move. It plays at being this sentimental ode to the...
Like Bob, like, something about this review, like, Bob is his usual self throughout it, but then he'll just, like, fucking hit you with, like, a sucker punch with some of his vocabulary. Like, he's that angry. Like, Bob is so angry, he's coming up with, like, actual insults that are creative.
Yeah.
the glory days of classic video games, but clearly doesn't have a fucking drop of sincere interest in what's made these characters and imagery so enduring or even what made the game so compelling for all these years. No matter how many classic arcade cabinets and 80s MTV needle drops Pixels trots out, it's always nakedly the work of a bunch of shit-gargling fuckwits with zero love or understanding
Shit-gargling fuckwits.
of this stuff beyond the ability to sell tickets based on, hey, remember Pac-Man? Remember Space Invaders? Remember when this guy was in good movies? Fucking
Remember King Ghidorah, Bob? I knew you remembered him.
Yeah.
You were okay with that?
hell,
Yeah,
Sanders' literal
you remember Mothra? I know for a fact you remember that.
Yeah.
character arc in this movie is learning to let go of the pride he takes in having the skill to excel at classic games and instead embrace a more open-ended, whatever, just try not to die modern gaming approach in order to ultimately succeed. But hey, don't pay attention to all that, folks. Look, stuff from Joust. Remember Joust? Pay us money to remind you that Joust existed. And the only thing worse than all of that is that it's probably going to work. This is probably going to be a huge fucking hit. One more bullshit movie interlude for the masses to break up the monotony of our ongoing waddle toward idiot.
Bob, it was very interesting how you showed a caricature of yourself. You actually showed good representation of yourself for this time around, Bob. That's very impressive of you.
Idiocracy. Let me be crystal fucking clear here, folks. Pixels is the worst thing to happen to video games since the CDI, microtransactions, YouTube screamers, voice chat, and the death of the Dreamcast
What a list of things that ruined video games. It's like, okay, the CDI is funny, but like no one remembers it outside of the YouTube poops, and like people love the YouTube poops. I mean, mobile game, I'll give you that. It was pretty shit. Reaction screamers. I mean, I guess I don't know what Bob thought of the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Maybe he hated it. He hates the Dreamcast because it's not Nintendo.
bind, but it would
Well, I mean, he said the death of the Dreamcast is like one of the worst things that ever happened. So maybe he loved the Dreamcast.
I mean, was the Dreamcast even alive in the first place? Did it even sell like 10,000? Did it even sell like 10 million units?
I have no idea.
Hold on. Yeah, the Dreamcast. It sold a total of 9.13 million units worldwide. That's
wow.
That's pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
absolutely still be a festering ocean of stagnant koala feces, no matter what licensed property nostalgia it was pretending.
We're bringing in the fucking koalas into this, Bob. Really? Like, who's not allowed to roast Pixels? I want to know, because it seems like everyone's gonna be shitting on Pixels at this point.
To pander to. And it probably will still be that less than 4 fucking months from now when the same movie reappears in the form of that Jack Black Goosebumps thing. Every game company who let their creations turn up in this shit pile should be flogging themselves like a Catholic masturbator right now. Yes, even you, Nintendo. Fucking hell.
I love how this is probably the most Bob has ever been to criticizing Nintendo is like, you fucking let Adam Sandler touch Donkey Kong. How the fuck could you, Nintendo? I thought you were special. Oh, $80 games though? Yeah, I'll buy I'll buy Mario Kart at launch. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You swear off Hollywood for like 2 years after one shitty Mario movie, but now you're suddenly totally okay with Mario, Donkey Kong, and the Duck Hunt dog showing up in this abortion? Classy. Real motherfucking classy. But for now, Pixels is...
Bro, Bob genuinely felt like he was betrayed harder than he was by Lindsay Ellis.
Yeah, he really did.
Is awful on a level that defies even the most negative conventions of review. Not a single joke lands, not a single performance works, the story is lazy, the stakes make no sense, the staging is limp and lifeless, and director Chris Columbus has finally made a movie worse than 9 months. It demands some sort of new metric below the stars or thumbs number scales. Like, how many fingers should the people responsible for this piece of shit be allowed to keep?
Jesus Christ. Like,
dude, I mean,
I know was it that bad? It seems more like a 3 or a 4 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, no matter how bad a movie is, that doesn't, a person shouldn't have to lose their fingers over it.
But I mean, like, is this even like among the worst of films? I don't think so. I think it's just lazy.
I mean, I brought it up before. Like, I could name at least like 5 movies off the top of my head that I guarantee you are far worse than Pixels. Like, I guarantee you, like, the Garbage Pail Kids movie is worse than Pixels, or Manos: The Hands of Fate is worse than Pixels, or
The Rise of Skywalker
I don't know,
is probably worse than Pixels.
Yeah, probably.
I'd say Last Jedi, but like that's another discussion.
I hate this movie so much.
That's a whole other thing.
I would have rather watched Blended again. I hate this movie so much, I would have rather caught up with Paul Blart 2 instead. I hate this piece of shit so much, I'm no longer rooting for Tyrion to make it out of season 6 alive. I wanted to run this movie over with my car, repeat.
And it doesn't even run at 60 FPS. Did he just steal someone else's thumbnail?
Yeah.
Why would he steal someone else's
I think
thumbnail? Why can't you just, like, take a screenshot of Mario Kart or whatever? I don't know. Someone said hi HJ Face said the FNAF movie is worse than this damn thing. I found the FNAF movie pretty boring, honestly. I'm not really into the games, but like I found the FNAF movie so fucking boring. Like all the action, the animatronics don't even do most of the action. It's that fucking Chica cupcake that does. The Chica cupcake has a higher kill count in that movie than any of the fucking animatronics.
Yeah, I didn't even bother with the FNAF movie. I got everything I would need out of that from Willy's Wonderland.
Yeah, I haven't seen that, but I've heard it's good. It's just Nick Cage just not talking and killing a bunch of animatronics instead.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I wanted to ritually blind this movie with razor wire. I wanted to drown.
How do you blind a movie exactly? It doesn't have eyes. Like you need eyes to see it.
Yeah, it's.
Down this movie slowly in a vat of its own urine.
Apparently, Grim Kitty is saying Charles Martinet, the voice of Mario, played a Barney parody in the movie 9 Months. Is that true?
I have no idea. I don't think I've seen 9 Months.
Maybe we could look into it after this.
As a film critic, I'm so used to Sandler sucking at this point that it's a challenge not to start grading his bullshit on some kind of curve. But as someone who actually loves all the stuff Pixels fucks around pretending to appreciate, it feels like the pride of Manchester, New Hampshire here broke into my fucking house, took a bloody backed up post-Taco Bell Miralax shit in the middle of my living room, and now wants me to pay him for the fucking privilege.
What an analogy.
Jesus.
I guess we know where Bob doesn't eat. Like Taco Bell is the limit for him. Like he won't eat Taco Bell, but other places, fuck it. Oh yeah. I'll order 5. I'll order 5 meals at McDonald's, please. 4 meals, I mean.
Fuck this movie. Fuck everyone who made this movie. And if you pay money to watch this movie, fuck you too.
I mean, you also paid money to watch this movie, Bob. You didn't walk out.
Yeah.
So. The whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that was I don't know, like that was pretty funny to see Movie Bob actually angry about his culture getting defiled.
Yeah, it really was. And just again, and I know I've already made the point, like, you know, I'm sure it's a bad movie, but there's definitely got to be worse movies than Pixels.
Yeah. So, do you think we might want to look at Game Overthinker next, or do we want to check out like another review before we get into that?
I mean, we can check out the Game Overthinker if you want. I'm fine with whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I think I might just take a little break though before we do that, if we're gonna do that. Yeah.
Okay.
So I will be right back, folks. Hang tight.
Okay.
All right, sorry, I'm back, folks. I'm back. Let me see if I miss anything in.
I am also back.
Yeah, I thought that'd be a good time to just take a break, use the bathroom, whatnot, get some water. Then again,
Yeah.
But yeah, what would you say you've learned from Bob's perspectives on movies, film nerd? How would you think he is as a critic compared to yourself?
I mean, I'm not really one to compare critics, but I would say Bob apparently thinks Pixels is the worst thing to happen to cinema. That if you have giant monsters in your movie fighting each other, then it transcends cinema, and gamers rise up. If you were bullied or picked on as a kid in grade school, then you have every right in the world to exact your revenge on those who bullied you, even if they have moved on. Like you probably should have moved on years ago.
Yeah, we got to strike back against the oppressors, absolutely.
Yeah, totally.
And keep in mind, Bob says even more insane shit on Twitter that we haven't even gone into. But
Yeah.
like we went over, Bob is a gamer. Like he proves he prides himself in being a gamer, and I actually haven't seen much of the game Overthinker, but it looks pretty funny. Like this is Movie Bob's attempt to be like Channel Awesome, basically. Because like I get the impression he wanted to be a part of Channel Awesome, but never made the cut. I could be wrong.
I mean, of course, because that way he could be he could be even closer to his girl Lindsay.
Yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But this is one of the Game Overthinker episodes. I guess this is sort of a special called War of the Thinkers, and I think this whole thing is a skit. So
yeah,
we'll see what Movie Bob's skit comedy is like. We'll see how he was before he was playing with Godzilla toys.
Yeah. Because I saw a little bit of this, and this gave off like serious Linkara vibes. Like it really reminded me of like the videos Linkara did, where he would like try to inject like storylines into his content with like these elaborate like set pieces and all these different characters that a lot of times are just him in different costumes.
Yeah, like how he and some other movie reviewers go to some warehouse on one of Jupiter's moons to destroy a Halloween prop.
Yeah. And then you froze.
And then you froze. I still love how the Atop the Fourth Wall movie was somehow worse than all the other Channel Awesome movies.
Yeah, it kind of was.
And keep in mind, Linkara was mad that Doug didn't let him use the warehouse for it. It probably would have sucked anyway. Not the studio, I mean, not the warehouse.
That
yeah.
choose from all the thinkers in all the worlds. You know me. I did my research. Watched as you became the anti-thinker I needed you to be. Like the others, you were strong and...
Is this like a special because it's the Overthinker episode 50?
I guess so.
Strong. A natural follower. But you had something else. Something
Mimi
no
in
one
chat's mentioning
saw but
there's a
me.
bunch of other thinkers. There's the Necro Thinker, the Anti Thinker, the Pyro Thinker, the Cryo Thinker. I love them. They're such great
Why does he have a
characters.
thinker for each type of Pokemon? Why is this necessary?
I don't know.
Maybe they'll just maybe there'll be another stream I have where there's just the game Overthinker binge. I don't know, but yeah, Movie Bob just made a variety of content over the years. Some bad and some. Actually, no, most of it is probably bad.
Yeah, just different shades of bad.
Yes.
You were home when I called, basically.
He thought he was badass. Like, this is when the Terminator comes back in time. Oh yeah, this is what I look like right now.
Yeah, he was doing like the Iron Man like landing stance.
That's like the pose that the Terminator makes when it gets traveled back in time too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Linkara's OCs made the channel Awesome Guys redundant. I mean, I believe it.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, I just realized it was dark. It was nighttime in the first shot, and now it's daytime when he lands.
Yeah.
Bob with a backwards baseball cap just looks wrong. It looks like that should never be a combination that happens.
Yeah.
He's got a gun, as every movie reviewer needs on YouTube. Okay,
Exactly.
480 is the highest this goes. Oh no.
Yeah, it's definitely a product. It's definitely of its time.
Oh my god.
Oh, and he's got the
fuck
overhead
off.
view.
He's got the HUD.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't go full on like Doom with it either.
I think I don't know if Bob even knows what Doom is. I've never heard him talk about Doom, and I think he's not cultured enough to like Doom, despite its importance.
Yeah.
He probably has really shit aim. Is this Halo music, by the way?
I think so.
What game is this HUD supposed to be from? This almost looks like WarioWare, but I know it's not. Because like it's Halo music, but this isn't the Halo HUD.
I have no idea.
Bob probably does see Halo as a game from Macho Dude Bros. I remember he had that one video where he said like, "Wow, the Covenant, unlike the UNSC, are actually diverse." It's like, and he even acknowledges that a lot of them are like slaves, but it's like, no, they're still more diverse. We got little guys, even though they're slaves.
Yeah.
Come on, overthinker.
Oh boy, we get his Boston accent in this. Awesome.
Come out and die, fatty.
You have no right to be calling someone else fatty, even if they're you, Bob.
Yeah.
Wait, when did he get there? I was looking at chat for a minute.
Come on, overthinker. Come out and die, fatty.
Did he have to slow down the frame rate just so that he could have the surprise with the music?
I maybe, and I also just love the generic like stock punch sound effect he used there.
Dude, that was everywhere in Channel Awesome. That stock punch sound effect was used all the fucking time, even in Secession.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep playing this video because I don't want to keep looking at MovieBob's crotch.
Yeah.
What happened to the volume?
If I were you, I'd stay down, anti-thinker. I am you, Chief. That's how it works, remember?
What is the cinematography? It looked like he was pointing the gun at the gun on the ground.
Yeah.
Why did you point the gun if you were going to shoot him? Why didn't you shoot him before he grabbed the gun? There was so much time. Like, fucking hell, Bob, it took you... You're so big, it took you so long to roll over to that gun.
Also, I love that you can like see the splice where he added like the two
yeah,
different.
You can.
Yeah. Also, I love the fact too that like his character, the Overthinker, has an NES zapper while the other guy has like a realistic looking gun.
Like, Bob, I don't think you're winning this.
Yeah.
Nameless with 199. Bob hates FPS games. He even hates Metroid. Does he actually hate Metroid Prime? Does he hate Metroid Prime because it's like, oh, they tried to make it Halo. I don't like that.
He's probably the kind of guy that really loves Metroid Other M.
I can't. I don't know if he. Maybe he has a video on Metroid Other M. It wouldn't surprise me if he did. He probably said, "Oh, you probably hate Anita Sarkeesian if you hate this game."
Yeah. Also, random lad in chat said that my catchphrase is "yeah."
I mean, sometimes there's not much to say at a moment with MovieBob. You know, like he can just fry your brain.
Pretty much.
I was expecting you to say, "Yeah." You kind of disappointed me, but you know, that's fine.
Oh. Well, I'm known for disappointing people.
Don't say that. Don't say that. Come on now.
Well, I don't know.
Nothing.
Ask people about my Little Nicky review, and they'll tell you otherwise.
Okay, Bob does. Mimi says that Bob does like other He made a video on it. Okay, maybe we could look at that another time. What was bad about your Little Nicky review exactly?
People were just dogging on it because I guess they wanted me to like love the movie because everybody else does. And I mean, I don't hate Little Nicky, but I was like trying to be, honest with it because that's just what I do. And people were saying, "Oh my God, film nerd hated Little Nicky. How dare you, hate this movie that we all love so much?" And I'm just like,
it's an Adam Sandler
I don't know.
movie where he screams a lot. Is it that surprising someone wouldn't like it?
Yeah, I mean, I will say, like, comparing it to like Pixels, it's not terrible. Like, it's definitely ambitious, and there were parts of it that kind of made me laugh, like the whole Popeye thing where he's like, "Popeye's chicken is fucking awesome," or him just going around going like, "Get in the flask." I don't know. It's just it's a dumb movie, but I don't know. I guess. Well, I think it was also just kind of a joke that people were just making fun of the fact that I try to be honest with Little Nicky.
I mean, I haven't seen the film, so I have no opinion.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. You didn't disappoint there. You said the thing. You said the line. Also, B said no B said no self-deprecation. B self-deprecation is very much allowed on the Dr. Storm YouTube channel. I do it all the time. It is very much allowed here. I am the boss, not you. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, I wasn't going to say anything.
Okay.
Like you.
Well, Bob's been holding us at gunpoint for a long time. Let's continue.
Oh, you don't think so? You don't
Oh, he's holding the gun sideways. Oh shit.
think you ever lashed out?
Oh, it's such
Don't
a
think you ever
badass.
spoke in anger?
There's probably a lot of lore between these two, but I don't really give a shit what it is. It's because this is gonna be funny regardless.
I'm in the mood to have people pissed off at me today.
Oh my! Why did the audio get worse when he wasn't filming outside? How does this happen?
Well, I think these are like taken from some of his older videos, so that's probably why the audio quality is such shit.
Oh, race games and Resident Evil 5, an Overthinker film, Mississippi Poning. I don't know who those are, but he put Mario and Luigi's hats on them.
Yeah.
Gravely intoning the number of hours this fuckhead logged on Counter-Strike? He already actually did that shit.
You're doing
I feel like Bob hates shooters because he's bad at them. Like, I feel that's the reason.
it wrong.
I wouldn't be surprised.
You don't think that you ever lost your temper? Did a whole... Wait, what?
I can see Bob's armpit in his shirt, and I don't like that at all.
Me neither.
Over here! So, not doing a clip show.
Oh, was that was a meta joke about how he was trying to start a clip show? Is that what's going on?
I guess, but it's not really a joke when you actually do the thing.
Yeah, you started it. Well, no. If you try to start it, but then you end it, I guess. But like, why would we expect a clip show during this climactic battle?
Mm-hmm.
What was it? Is that like a fucking magnum gun? There was so much firepower coming out of that thing. It was almost like a flamethrower.
Yeah, I think that's supposed to be like a Magnum pistol, like a Dirty Harry 44 Magnum.
Oh, that actually is a magnum. I don't think we should ever let Bob anywhere close to a near gun, to a real gun. I mean,
No, not at all.
Someone said, semi-nobody. I feel like Bob hates shooters because the jock likes them. I'm probably. Maximus
Yeah, I
Metal
could see
says,
that.
"Do you expect a Nintendo fanboy to like shooters?" I mean, Splatoon is a thing. I mean, Bob could just play Splatoon, and he could run competitive with Putz 12, and they could both just bang their tables, and just absolutely assault them. Regular Bob looks more evil than evil Bob. You were absolutely right, Jester. Because regular Bob is evil, so an evil Bob would just be a not evil Bob.
Yeah, the two evils just cancel each other out.
I
And
feel
he's
like-
like the good Bob.
I feel like the Bob with the taboo shirt and the backwards cap actually contributes more to society than the sunglasses and dark coat Bob somehow.
I can see that.
Like, is a respectable job at like Pizza Hut or something.
Did I hit you?
I could see that.
Meanwhile, Bob would probably Bob would probably steal a pizza guy's order when they aren't looking.
Nope.
Yeah, he would be.
I hit you? Fuck no.
The way he said "fuck no" with the accent was so funny. Hold on.
Did I hit you? Nope. I hit you? Fuck no.
The way he said that was just so funny. I don't know why.
Fuck no.
What?
Fuck no. Would evil Bob just have normal political opinions in a normal life? Yes, some might know, but yes, he would.
Down to my last
Regular Bob wouldn't have a Twitter account.
round. Hey,
Regular
did you
Bob
ever
would
see-
have a blue sky.
I feel like Bob made a blue sky at some point. He probably seems like one of the
Yeah,
people that would have tried to jump over there, even though there's, I don't know if I don't know if I haven't even really gone over there at all. It's like, why would I?
see the
Me neither.
The memes are probably worse than blue sky.
Doom movie? Yeah,
Probably.
it sucked. I liked it all right. Case in point. You remember that one part of Doom where the dudes were like both down the one
Oh, so Bob is aware of Doom. Okay, this is confirmation.
shot?
Well, at least the movie version.
So apparently there was a parody of Bob when he was on Screw Attack called The Game Under Thinker, and it was unironically funnier. I mean, if it was made by someone else, I could see it being funnier. If it was made by Bob, though, I don't know how much more funny it would be. Okay, so Bob does have a
I mean,
blue
probably be more like unintentionally funny.
Yeah, probably. Like The Room.
Mm-hmm.
Bob has a blue sky. He's posting things you'd expect. Okay, so he's still wishing death upon everyone in the working class. Got it.
So they both like shot
I like
their
a
guns.
Jerby in the chat said, I need a man with a Boston accent to roast my intelligence.
All right, well, look, B. All right, it was fucking stupid of you to say no self-deprecating. It's probably not the same coming from me.
Off so they could settle
Yeah.
it up hand to hand.
That was stupid.
That was fucking awesome. We should totally do that.
No, we shouldn't.
The only good part of Doom was that part where the guy like died and
I'm sorry. Was that audio? Was the audio here? Like, was this ADR? Because it seemed too clean.
It was stupid.
that was fucking awesome. We should totally do that.
No, we shouldn't.
That sounded too clean. That sounded too clean, didn't it? It almost sounded
Yeah,
like
it-
ADR.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was ADR because I've been noticing throughout this video that like the audio cuts in and out. Like there are times where you can hear like all the sounds of nature and whatnot, and then it just like cuts out. So I think maybe he added that in later because he thought the audio sounded bad.
Yeah, probably.
The only good part of Doom was that part where the guy like died and got to continue. It was like a precursor to Scott Pilgrim, you know? I never saw.
What, is he talking about the movie based off the game?
I think so. I mean, it's been years since I've seen the Doom movie. The only part of it I remember kind of liking was they did like a first person sequence where I think it's the Carl Urban character is like fighting demons and it's meant to look more like the game. But that's like the only good part of it.
Where they actually make it like the video game. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Scott Pilgrim. You'd hate it.
All right, take care, Semi Nobody, and yes, gamers rise up.
All right, I'm gonna do it.
Exactly.
Hold on.
Have a good night, Semi Nobody.
Okay, dude. Now you. Come on, run your ammo out. It's a
You only had one bullet left in the chamber? Okay.
laser, you idiot. Doesn't run out. Oh. Hey, where'd you get that thing anyway?
The zapper. Should I tell him?
You got it from an NES, dude. That's it. You just got it from an NES. You're not the magic gun from Linkara. You're not him, all right? I'm sorry.
Reveal the secret origin of the Game Overthinker after 50 episodes? I can still remember it all. That ancient tomb, the strange sarcophagus, the mummy in that oddly familiar jacket, clutched in its...
I remember when he cosplayed as Captain N, and then someone took the
Yeah.
tweet of him calling someone failed humans, and then they just posted that picture of him cosplaying as Captain N.
Bob should. I was about to say Bob should never cosplay, but no, he should keep cosplaying because it's unironically hilarious.
Yes, it is. I want to see Bob cosplay. Now I want to see Bob cosplay Lighter from Zenless Zone Zero. Now I just imagine Lighter every time he stuns an enemy, just saying some insane thing about how we should bring eugenics to all the Thyrans to just completely wipe them out of our society.
right hand.
No.
Wait, what?
Ancient tomb, the strange sarcophagus, the mummy in that oddly familiar jacket, clutched in its right hand.
No. We're not doing a fucking origin story.
So wait, he basically grave robbed the fucking Zapper, I guess? Is that what happened? That's what I got from that.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Bob is a grave robber. He grave robbed Captain N. Maybe, yeah, you know, Evil Bob here is the evil Bob, which makes him good Bob.
Also, I find it weird that he put in the record scratch over like the color bars graphic, because you would normally put like a beep sound in there to be like when a TV signal cuts out, not a record scratch. Like it makes no sense.
He was only able to do it right. Most people just use the record scratch with no rhyme or reason, unfortunately. It's one of the most overused sound effects out there.
Yeah.
So, still wanna...
Yeah, might as well.
Are you gonna shoot an unarmed guy? Is he gonna try and parry it? What?
You forget I could...
Wait, he could just summon fucking Microsoft Word shapes from his eyes? That's incredible. Why does he wait this long to take the shot?
Because it'd be more dramatic that way.
He doesn't even make his eyes glow. He just puts fucking Microsoft shapes over it. It's like lines you would see on a road now that I see it.
Yeah, or like headlights on a car.
And then I like how when it's hitting Bob's gun, he just reverses it.
You forget I could do that?
Oh my god! Holy shit! Now it's getting good. Is this music even really? Like, I feel like even Channel Lost would make the music more epic, but he's just using fucking 8-bit NES music. Like, this doesn't fit.
Yeah, it really doesn't.
How? How are you doing that?
How are you doing that? Oh my god, Bob has the Triforce! Why wasn't the Triforce mentioned in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom? Because Bob had it the whole time.
Exactly. I also love the fact, too, that, like, if you keep playing it, you notice that the Triforce, like, just kind of does whatever it wants. Like, it doesn't stay. He didn't motion track it correctly.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, I haven't really learned motion tracking in my videos at all.
I don't know what that's supposed to be. It means I...
What was with that strange cut there? Did you see it?
What cut?
There was a little cut between when he put his hand down and when he spoke. Look, let's go back. Bob, he come to town. He going to save Lindsay Ellis. Doug Walker took her away. Now the reviewers won't play. I couldn't make it the best thing.
I don't know what that's supposed to be.
All right, here's the cut though. It's coming up. You
Yeah.
saw it? Yeah, there it is.
Means I'm as strong as you are.
Yeah, what was that?
He couldn't do it all in one take. It's like how Sonic Sega Gamer, in his Super Mario Logan video, he filmed himself not doing anything, and then he cuts to him speaking. It's like, why did you even film that first part?
Means we're equal.
Why is his audio? What is it, dude? Bob's audio is not consistent at all. What was? Listen to that.
I don't know what that's supposed to be. It It means I'm as strong as you are.
Why is he now in a fucking McDonald's? Why is he now taking orders at McDonald's in the drive-thru? Like, how did this happen? Because the other time it was
He ate at McDonald's so much they gave him a job.
I guess he was recording audio for the special at his job. But the other time there was ADR, it actually sounded clean. And now it just sounds like he has to take Big Smoke's order, and then he makes a recommendation to Big Smoke for next time. It's like, no, you got to order this much food next time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now that I think about it, Bob could genuinely pass as like white Big Smoke in a cosplay. He genuinely could. If he cosplayed a white Big Smoke, he could pull it off.
I honestly could see that.
I don't know if people would be cool with it, since like you could say you're whitewashing the funny GTA San Andreas man, but like he looks like a race swapped version of Big Smoke.
He really does.
Means we're equal.
Hadouken! Fire! He took the fucking sound clip for Street Fighter 2 instead of just saying it himself. I remember he mentioned it a while back. Basically, his audio recording varies due to his house situation. I mean, I guess I'd have to read his book to know what his house situation was like.
Yeah, but neither one of us care enough to read it.
I mean, I kind of want to get my hands on it if I can, just out of morbid curiosity.
Even.
Yeah.
Die, monster. You don't belong in this world. What is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets?
I want to fucking kill myself, Jesus Christ.
I'm honestly surprised he even played Castlevania Symphony of the Night, since that's not a Nintendo game.
Wait, PlayStation? What? No, but where's my side scroller? What?
Where's my Mario? Where's my Link?
Why is it not different levels? Oh, that splicing is so bad. Jesus.
Yeah.
I love how he's
also final round. Like what happened to the other rounds?
Well, I guess they drew in the other round.
Yeah, you can thank Chuck for that one, Chief.
He sounded like Yogi Bear there. Am I the only one who thinks that?
No, it kind of did sound like that.
You can tell that that's just some other guy that he got to be in this somehow. Because he's so much skinnier than Bob.
I was going to say, all of a sudden, it switches camera angles and he's lost like 100 pounds.
How did honestly the most impressive thing about this video is that Bob actually got another human being to be a part of it.
Probably had to pay him a lot to do it though.
He's like, I don't have that much money that you're requesting, but I also do have a copy of Pac-Man World for the PS. Wait, no, he wouldn't have that. It's a PlayStation. I do have a copy of Final Fantasy 3 for the SNES. You could probably pawn that off somewhere. It's like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah, I can't imagine this guy having enough friends to be like, hey man, do you want to help me shoot this little video? And they'd be like, yeah, sure. Like I highly doubt he has friends that he could get to help him with this.
I love how I like to imagine that he didn't tell his friend what the video was. It's like, okay, so I'm gonna beat you up. It's like, okay, you're done, go home. It's like, okay, don't we need to film more scenes? Like, nope, I'm gonna do the rest of them.
Impressive. I can see you've been training. You can tell I've been. What are you now, Vegeta? I don't know who that.
I feel like other characters have said that. Like, they probably said that in like fucking Star Wars at some point, right? I
don't know.
I just don't know what movie. Twice the pride, double the fall.
That is. But hey.
Twice the pounds, double the fall. Yeah.
Better him than you, Chief.
The bigger they are, the harder they fall.
Yes.
What's that? Sorry, Chief. I can't hear you with Miyamoto's balls all up in your mouth. Douchebag.
on his bro, Bob actually Bob delivered one of the most savage roasts I've heard to himself, and all he can say is
Yeah.
douchebag. Wow. He
I'm
really...
sure he probably based on a real life interaction he had.
Yeah, but he didn't think that person had any merit. Yeah, well, at least well, I have his balls and his cock in my mouth. Checkmate.
Fanboy, troglodyte, Nintendo fanboy, you're a disease. Is that a fact? You're everything that's wrong with gaming.
You're a fanboy. You're everything wrong with gaming. bro, Bob, how do you write this guy to have like all the strongman opinions, like names called at you, and like you still lose this? How do you do this, Bob? It's like Sonic Sega Gamer losing to a fucking Morgana AI voice chat.
Yeah.
Dr. Star and everyone who is the peak movie reviewer.
And you're just another angry nerd wannabe. Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, you've used Bob. You already used the record scratch once. There's like a one per limit video. You're overstepping your boundaries. I gotta step in and tell you this.
Spoony wannabe.
Thing shouting. Why did the Spoony comment make him that mad? I also just realized he has a Mario 2 shirt on.
Maybe he saw what Spoonie's future would be like, and that's why he got upset.
Yeah, but is Bob's future really any better?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, at least Spoonie like has some relevance because nowadays he's been doing a lot with the guy from Phantasmagoria 2. He's on that Conversation with Curtis channel doing like Let's Plays and shit.
Right, but I'm saying, is Bob's life really that much better than Spoonie's?
Yeah, probably not.
I want to go back to the Spoonie.
And you're just another angry nerd wannabe. Oh, I'm sorry. Spoony wannabe.
The sound effect.
Why did he make the evil Bob sound like Godzilla? Like, I don't know. If someone called me like an ex wannabe, like a Deadwing Dork wannabe or something, just an example, not that I think that I'm as great as him, like I'd probably be kind of flattered, personally.
Yeah. Same. Like if somebody said to me, "Oh, you're nothing but a, I don't know, like a good bad flicks or a Brandon Tenold wannabe," I'd be like, "Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that." Like I wouldn't be offended by that.
Are you offended by the fact that I don't know who those people are?
Not really, because I mean they are kind of more, I guess, kind of niche, like movie reviewer YouTubers. Brandon Tenold's a guy who does a lot of cult movies, and Good Bad Flicks is a channel that reviews like, again, more cult movies, but he also does like exploring videos where he looks at the making of movies that have a very interesting development history. Like he did a video exploring the making of Daredevil, Final Destination, the Blob remake. So, I mean, their channels are definitely worth checking out, especially Good Bad Flicks if you like more of a deep dive kind of video.
I see. And maybe I'll check them out. I don't know. But we're about to see MovieBob run, so this is going to be one of the biggest feats he's ever done.
Yeah. It's probably the most exercise he's ever gotten.
Someone said you're a confused Matthew wannabe, and I know that he has. I've heard that that guy's Lion King remake, that his Lion King review is bad of the original. Maybe that'd be worth doing a video on. Like I've heard that one is infamously bad.
I have no idea who Confused Matthew is, so that's news to me.
Apparently, the only thing I know about is that he made a really bad Lion King review. Bro, seeing Bob run feels so surreal. Like you wouldn't think he'd be capable of this in any capacity.
It's a.
Oh, we're doing the Looney Tunes. We're doing the Looney Tunes joke. Really? You're supposed to do that at the beginning when you introduce us to the characters. It doesn't make any sense to do this like a third of the way through. Come on, Bob. Overthinker, Brainiacus, obnoxious, but like, aren't you the good guy? Are you self-aware, Bob?
I highly doubt he's self-aware enough to call himself obnoxious.
There are so many people who call themselves obnoxious. Like, I feel like it's not them being I feel like they're trying to, like, saying, I'm doing it as a joke, so I'm not actually obnoxious, or it's okay that I'm obnoxious, but they can't come to terms with the fact that they're obnoxious and that they're the problem. That's the impression I get when people call themselves obnoxious on YouTube.
It's like they're trying to deflect criticism, like that bit from the Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers movie when Ugly Sonic is like, people can't laugh at me if I'm in on the joke.
Right, yeah. I've only seen clips of that movie. It looks atrocious.
I've also only seen clips. I have no desire to see.
I don't know
movie.
why they thought that making a Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers like revival would be like. Why would you make it like some like edgy meta commentary where they're washed up? That just seems weird.
I couldn't explain it.
I don't get it. Douchiest extremists. Wait, did I accidentally? Hold on, I fucked up the. Let me refresh this. I think I fucked.
Angry nerd wannabe.
I fucked up the windows somehow. I don't know how I did that. Oh yeah, that's right. I have MovieBob.
Oh, I'm sorry. Spoony wannabe.
Oh, we got to see that again at least. That's good. I don't know, like there's now this black border. I don't know how I did that. Or
Maybe it was like always there, like it was just
Maybe.
part of the video.
Well, let me look at another video quick. Hold on. I want to make sure I'm not going insane.
Who were cruel to me, but the whole overriding social system that allowed
Okay, it was always there. I'm going insane then.
All right, so I guess they just killed each other.
Oh, like why does it result in an explosion instead of like the typical fight cloud?
I like Maximus Metal in chat says, "Who's faster, MovieBob or Linkara?" Well, Linkara obviously because he can run all over the world.
Luke Salem said, "Crazy collab stream idea. Demeech in July live stream with Sir Musty, the reactionist who covered Demeech and Demeech Sember." I'm not familiar with him. I don't know if he knows me, and I'm not that well versed on Demeech as of right now. I mean, maybe if he's up for it, but I don't think I've even seen his videos, and again, like, I don't even know if he knows I exist. But I mean, I'm open to it if he is, I guess. Holy shit! How big was that explosion? That, like, the forest is gone. Bob just put a lot of lumberjacks out of a fucking job.
I mean, considering how big Bob is and the fact that there's two of them, it makes sense the explosion would be that big.
I guess it didn't burn any of the trees around him somehow.
Well, I mean, it was just a clip art explosion. It wasn't a real one.
I want to go back to the explosion. It's like, like, you have the dumb Looney Tunes scientific name joke. You got the 8-bit music going. He's hunched over like... and then all of a sudden, just a giant explosion. Like DBZ levels. And then they're just on the ground. Like that. How did they get in these positions?
I don't know.
That forest should not be there, exactly.
Well, now we know what happens when we do that.
I mean, I don't know what else. I didn't expect that, I guess, when you collide with each other. Okay, fine. Beth Atwade did a good video on Confused Matthew's history. Maybe I'll check that out at some point then.
Oh, I know who Mimi's talking about. Their channel's called Okay Fine Be That Way. I think they did a video on the Game Dude that's actually really good. It's like, I want to say a little over an hour and a half long, but it's very well informed.
Was that a skin bump or a pimple in Bob's forehead? I don't know. We have to get a better view.
Man, you would think that would have done a lot more damage to the surrounding area.
Oh, okay. So if we acknowledge that it doesn't make sense, it's okay that it doesn't make sense. Got it. Like with Ugly Sonic. If I'm in on the joke, it's fine, you know?
All right.
It's like Liquid Snappy says in the chat, the explosion was so powerful, the fire unburnt the forest.
It unburned it. How do you unburn something?
Enough of this.
Duel of the Fates starts playing.
Oh, fuck me. Fuck me.
Ho ho ho.
I like that the light beam or whatever is not even properly aligned with the Wiimote.
Waving around.
Well, generic non-copyright infringing laser sword. I guess you got me, Chief. I mean, can't stand up to that. At least, I couldn't if I was only human.
What?
What?
Wait, it looked like Bob said what, but no sound came out. Did you hear that?
Chief, I mean, can't stand up to that. At least, I couldn't if I was only human. What? Did you actually?
Yeah, he clearly spoke.
Maybe it was like cut out. I don't know.
Does Evil Bob want to clap his cheeks? I mean, I don't want to think of what I really don't want to think of what a gay sex scene between MovieBob and himself would look like. I really don't.
Really think that we look exactly
Yeah,
alike?
I do not need that mental
Do
image.
you think this is the true form of the master of the Antiverse?
That was the same clip, was it not? He just reused the same footage of him not saying
sure.
what.
The most powerful creature in all of Anti-Thought? Behold!
Mimi says this Joker thinks he's Rich Alvarez. He'll never be Rich Alvarez.
Oh my god.
That does not look intimidating in the slightest. That looks so fucking shit.
Yeah, it looks like what a teenager would like draw in their, like when an edgy teen would draw in their sketchbook is like, okay, this is my official, like this is my original OC character. He's got a cool like chrome skull. He's got 2 twin sides. He's got a big like, you know, dollar symbol medallion. This is my original character. No one else can have him.
Someone mentioned Zetsuhumi. We actually already looked at the beginning of his Scream 4 review earlier in the stream. So we've already looked at that.
Yeah.
And about how he's mad that
And,
everyone else has his forbidden knowledge and now he's not special anymore.
Oh, and Nameless in chat tagged me saying, oh my god, he's gone super user.
I just realized now why no sound came out, because Bob here is mouthing what the fuck humorously, but he's not saying it. And he used that footage twice in those earlier clips. So that's why no sound was coming out.
What's wrong, overthinker?
Oh my god, he's got a Mechakara voice too.
You came to fight a madman, and instead you find a god?
Oh my god.
If that's what a god looks like my god is gonna absolutely curb stomp yours.
Yeah, if this is what a god looks like, I'm becoming an atheist.
Wait, how did he fight a lightsaber with those sides? Wouldn't the lightsaber just cut through them?
Maybe it's like one of the lightsabers from the Disney Star Wars movies where they don't really do that much damage.
It was a Wii lightsaber. It's pretty cheap. That's why the Wii's cheaper.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you know, like a lightsaber.
Also, wait, what?
Nowadays, if you get hit by a lightsaber, you just live. That's it.
Exactly.
Also, yes, I am also confused at Wario, like how you are.
Yeah.
Wahaha. Gotcha.
Gotcha.
What? What was the point of that? What was that? What was that? Why did Wario appear there?
What even is this?
Why did Wario just appear? Like, is Wario like narrating the stories as a framing device? I don't know. I agree, Mimi. Linkara does fight gods better. Even if he did freeze. You didn't bring a second Wiimote, Bob? You fucking cheapskate. You didn't at least have a nunchuck? Like, the nunchuck could probably be used as, like, a flail or something. Oh my god, the frame rate is so bad. Also, once again, Evil Bob has lost a lot of pounds.
Well, I'm sure the other guy was probably happier about dressing up as this because he's wearing a mask so you can't see his face.
I mean, you couldn't see his face in the other shots. Oh, who's
Yeah,
winning?
that's
Oh, oh, look at them stare each other down. Like, name a better rivalry than this. I'll wait. How the fuck did that remove his entire shirt instead of fucking violently slash him?
I mean, I'm just glad it didn't like make him lose his entire shirt because I do not want to see Movie
No,
Bob shirtless.
I'm not questioning. I'm very glad he didn't lose his entire shirt. I don't like that I can see his chest hair though. That's bad enough already. Okay, so these are re-uploads, which is why the quality's taken a huge hit.
Makes sense.
I will bend like a reed in the wind.
What?
I'm sorry.
Who said that?
I have no idea.
Oh no! Wait, I just realized that's the wrong hand. That's a right hand, and it was his left hand that got cut off. God damn it, Bob!
so.
You couldn't even get the right prop. I love how they're just splashing tomato juice all over the place.
Welcome to die.
Magneto was.
Oh,
he's
cute,
quoting
like
he's
the
quoting
X-Men
his
arcade
great
game.
He's quoting his great hero Magneto, who said, kill all the fucking football players. Nerds rise up." Like, sometimes if you play Marvel Rivals, instead of saying fear Magneto, when you use Magneto's ultimate, he rises into the air, charging out the Spirit Bomb. He says, "Bully the blacks instead." This music is just not appropriate. Like, Bob, can't you just use, like, the Smash Bros. Versions of some of these songs? Like, fucking hell.
Yeah, it really doesn't fit.
You weak, pathetic fool.
Bro, it's a fucking slideshow at this point. God damn.
Yeah, it's about on par with like plumbers don't wear ties.
Holy shit, how is he still bleeding? How much blood is he losing? Holy shit. Oh my god, it's a zapper.
It's his one true weapon.
Why are you crawling? It was just your hand
Maybe
that
it's
took a
because
hit.
he's been losing so much blood.
I guess he's just been bleeding that profusely. Yeah, Linkara wouldn't resort to such gore except with Mechakara. Oh no.
Thou
I love how you can tell that's not Bob at all.
Yeah, he doesn't have the prominent bald spot.
brother.
I now want to see Sinners, but Bob plays both of the twins. He plays
my
Smoke.
God.
He plays Smoke and Stack. But no,
God.
all the characters around him are still black, but it's just Bob that's himself. Like, he's just still white, and nobody questions it. Now he's losing even more blood. I love how they just fill this sack
doesn't
full
even-
of Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like Kool-Aid or like I was about to say tomato juice, but I feel like that would run a lot thicker.
Yeah, I think that the using the force looked a bit more like tomato juice. Holy shit! I know Bob's a big dude, but like, how much blood is in his body? Like, holy shit! How come the blood's flowing, but none of it is beneath him? Like, it's just dry completely underneath him.
Maybe he just didn't want to lay in the pool of Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I see. You know, they say in okay, someone Zehutsumi brought up, I like how when MovieBob was booted from Escapist, he was let back in by Screw Attack. In his first video back, he immediately compared gamers to Stormfront, as Screw Attack had to disavow. I mean, wasn't Screw Attack gone? Wasn't Screw Attack gone by that point, and it was just Death Battle left?
I mean, I don't know. When did MovieBob join Screw Attack?
I don't know, but apparently they let him back in after Escapist, because like he left Escapist like maybe I have my timeline mixed up. I don't know. Is Bob an anime character? He is the anime character, actually.
Yeah, he's the ultimate anime character.
But yeah, I was about to say, you know, in Norse mythology, they say that the Earth is actually the giant Ymir, and when Odin and the other Aesir like killed him, they chopped him up and different body parts became different parts of the world. I like to believe that that's what's happening right now, and after the grand battle between the Overthinker and the Anti-Thinker, the Overthinker's blood is going to become a vast Red Sea, and then the rest of his body is going to become like cliffs made of cheese, I guess. I don't fucking know. Mountains made of cheese.
Yeah, mountains made of cheese and like trees made out of McDonald's burgers.
There's so much gore. There's so much gore in this. Holy shit, Mimi was right. I keep in mind all this blood flowing, and none of this is coming from Bob. The fucking park ranger probably got really pissed at you for pouring out all your fucking gross red liquids everywhere. They probably told you to never come back after this.
Yeah, I could see him getting banned.
Well, no, if it's a Sea of Mountain Dew nameless, it's a Sea of Mountain Dew Code Red, right? It's Code Red Mountain Dew.
Exactly.
Is Bob going to heaven?
Not all Bobs go to heaven.
This one should be in hell, but you know. Okay. This is very ominous.
So now we're in space.
What? Dogs Eat Dog 6's Dynamite Gal is going to revive MovieBob?
Let's begin.
I like to imagine that Bob just did DD6 such a huge solid, and now he brought his gal here and he's returning the favor.
I can believe it.
No, this ending won't do it all. What? That's not the mushroom that gives you a life, though. Yes, that's more like it. Alright, now get on with it. Okay.
I'm surprised he didn't do the Monty Python the Holy Grail get on with it bit.
Yeah, I really like that bit. I used it in my SOK Halloween video. That's the wrong mushroom. That's just gonna make him even bigger. We don't need Bob to be even bigger.
It's so weird he would get that wrong because you think with it. Oh my god,
dude, that's a fucking dude. That's like a fucking little candy container at my local video game store. Come on.
Damn.
Everyone got excited about Rosalina in the chat.
Yeah.
What? Also, how is this gonna save him from bleeding out? Again, that's the mushroom that makes you big. It doesn't revive you, so you're still probably gonna die. There's just gonna be more of you that's left around for the vultures to take. Or there's just gonna be what? Dude, that was a still image. That was not footage. That was just a still image.
Beautiful.
Oh,
now he's going gay.
That's every No, that's only the primary colors. It's only gay if it's all the colors.
Ow!
Oh.
What? The blood is returning to him.
Like it.
I call it blood, but it's probably just like sugar that turned really red. Let's be honest here.
How is this possible?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Apparently there is a green version. Is that why he used the red mushroom? Because they just ran out of the green ones at the GameStop he went to. It's like, I only got the red ones. I was like, fuck, we're not gonna be lore accurate for this one. Fine. He probably
even then, like, I'm surprised he didn't just like paint a red one green,
or just keep it a PNG.
Yeah, that
probably would have been easier. Mm-hmm. How is the water? No, that is not Bob. No, fuck off. No. That is no. You are not Dr. Manhattan built. Fuck off with that shit, Bob.
Yeah, absolutely not.
The fucking blood going back to Bob reminds me of like how Superman rotated the world around and somehow turned back time and that undid the flood. It only undid select things.
Mm-hmm.
That star-mothering witch can only delay the inevitable.
Star-mothering witch.
Wait, what?
Don't be careful calling her that. Her husband's not going to be too thrilled with you saying that. You wouldn't like him when he's angry. He has when he has fury. He's if you're afraid of what he's going to do to some fucking 10-year-old kid on the internet, wait till you see what he does to you, buddy.
Die, monster.
Yeah, you're going to be the next victim of his massive punishment compilation.
Okay, so Bob is already reusing jokes and calling himself out on it. That's cool.
Just fight.
Okay, dude, it's shit. I'm sorry. You're shit. You're shit. That costume's shit. Oh, look, dude, the mushroom even gave him his shirt back.
Dude, that's queer.
Bob actually said weird.
Oh my god.
As a matter of fact,
it's actually Flowey from Undertale, the third scariest villain of all time.
It's flaming.
Mm-hmm. No.
So you got the mushroom. So you got the little mushroom candy container, but you couldn't get you couldn't get like a fucking fire flower plush or like get a fire flower thing.
Maybe they just weren't a thing at the time.
Bro, he's got the fucking Kiryu fit. Holy shit. He's got the fucking Kiryu Kazuma Kiryu fit right there.
Now I was gonna say he kind of looks more like Tony Montana from Scarface.
Now I want to see,
or like a Miami Vice.
Now I want to see, bro. They should have cast Bob as Kiryu instead of Young. Yeah, I'm gonna say it right now. Like he should be voicing Kiryu, and he should be wearing that drip around all the time.
Mm.
Now I want, just like with before with Sinners. Now I want to see Bob play Kiryu in Yakuza, and like he's the only, like everyone else is still the same, but like no one questions it with him. Wait, hold on. What was the scientific name? I was calling him Kiryu.
Yeah.
Super Marius
Referentium.
Oh, Super Mario reference. Okay.
Oh, it's cute.
Well, of course the fit is good because he literally just ripped off Kiryu's fit from Yakuza. Kiryu if he got diabetes instead of cancer. Look at that effect.
Oh, it's ILM, eat your heart out. Oh.
But no, it's supposed to like throw out a little bit of fireballs that bounce on the ground. It's not supposed to like torture enemies alive. Rosalina turned his blood into napalm. Also, why didn't he use this fire flower before? That's my question. Did Rosalina give it to him?
Maybe. The PNG of him over the fire.
What a horrible night to have a curse.
It's daytime, you fuck.
The morning sun has vanquished the horrible night. You think you've won? You've won nothing, Chief. He's coming. He's coming. Who? Who's coming?
This lighting is so
I
bad.
don't think I want to know if anybody in these videos is coming. Oh, and explosion, I guess. And all that's left of him is the cheap medallion he got from
And
Party
just
City.
like that, he was gone. Back to the antiverse, no doubt.
The
But
antiverse.
I can't think about that now. The quest of the Overthinker has ended, but a new quest, a second quest, now begins. Somewhere in these woods, my brother is still trapped. I must find him. I must find...
I'm over here!
Oh no, record scratch? Oh my god, the other guy showed his face. Now he's forever a part of this.
Chris? When did you get here? I've been here literally the whole time you have. Who do you think's been filming you the whole time? Oh, yeah. Come to think of it, I was kind of curious about that.
Oh yeah, that would make sense. He would need someone else to film him.
You haven't acknowledged my presence in, like, 3 months.
You could tell how angry he is that he had to I fucking drove out to the woods. I fucking drove your fat ass out to the woods. We filmed this gay porno shit where you fucking chopped the wrong arm off of yourself. I just want to go the fuck home. Like you could tell he's like just like seething with anger. Like I just want to go the fuck home, Bob.
He definitely does not want to be here.
I was going fucking nuts. Huh. Gosh, I'm real sorry about that, man. It's alright. Just please don't do it again. Okay. So, you wanna get out of here?
Wait, is that his actual brother?
I have no idea.
Chris has a million times more charisma just from 30 seconds of footage. Damn.
Should we? Alright.
Honestly, yeah, he does.
Okay, that was pretty funny, actually.
He kind of looks like a mix of Seth Rogen and Chris Pratt.
I hate that I can
So,
see that.
You wanna get out of here? Should we? Alright, yeah. Okay, that was pretty funny, actually.
What
There's still one thing about all this I don't get.
Just the one thing? Really?
Yeah, I mean, how come all the power-ups and game creatures and items and stuff work for you all of a sudden?
Well, I'd assume that whatever force allowed the Anti-Thinker to cross over into our universe ruptured the dimensional wall separating our reality from the realities of the gaming world, and energy has started to leak out and change things.
Huh. You sure that's how it works?
No. Yeah, I guess...
Oh, that is his brother.
Whatever. Look, I'm tired.
Damn.
Remember the credo, man.
Cloaked figure. Dude, come on.
Just repeat to yourself, it's
just a show.
Rorio and Rosalina were credited as themselves.
should really just relax. Exactly.
Okay.
Oh,
Hey, are we ever gonna
that's
find out who
cute.
that-
He made an MSC3K reference.
The monster voice guy was?
Well, I wouldn't know what you're talking about, as I've been trapped.
I will say this. Chris is a good brother to go through all this bullshit for Bob.
Honestly, yeah, that is one thing I have to give him credit for.
Yeah.
Trapped in this haunted Minnesotan forest
Because unfortunately, he's credited in this forever.
realm for about 5 months. But if I did know, I imagine I'd say
I
that
think
would be
he's
a
proud of the
story
fact
for
that he
another time.
contributed to this.
So
I mean, he's probably neutral on it, if I'm gonna guess.
Makes sense.
Maybe not this stream. Will you ever take a crack at Bob's SMB3 literary masterpiece? I mean, if there's a place to find it, maybe, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
does that mean we're gonna do more of this stuff?
Well, maybe not right away, but sure, why not? I mean, it's fun to try different things and not be constrained or overly comfortable in just one genre. In fact, that's probably a lesson you could apply to a lot of things in your day-to-day life, like maybe a hobby or a lifestyle, for example.
Oh, so that was the point of all this.
It's a point, yeah.
Was there a main point?
Well, yeah, to play some different characters, make a wacky movie, and, have some fun. I mean, not everything needs a point. Sometimes fun is enough.
Yeah, but when Adam Sandler does it, it's bad.
Fun is enough?
Yes, sometimes fun is enough.
I like what King Caspus said in the chat. Chris is. Oh wait.
What? Chris is
Oh, no,
probably a
I was just gonna
normal
say,
man with a job and a GF, and his parents are just relieved one of them functions in society. I mean, yeah, it's probably the situation for the family.
Mm-hmm.
There's
But
one,
what were you gonna laugh?
There's one in every family, unfortunately, but at least it's only one.
Yep.
He's giving special thanks to Shigeru Miyamoto. He calls Bob's like, get my name out of the shit, please. I just made Mario. I don't know who you are. I just saw that, and it almost gave me the same thing that killed Iwata. All right, please just get this the fuck off the internet, please.
Sometimes fun is enough.
Exactly.
So, if in
Sorbet
theory
and
there was like a
vegetable juice.
video, perhaps about games, the premise and/or title
Peter and Patricia Chipman. He docks his parents. It's so cruel.
of which was that fun wasn't enough,
Uh-huh.
could this whole thing be considered, perhaps in part, a kind of counterpoint to that?
Sure. Let's go with that, yeah.
Let's go with that.
All right, Jim Can Swim says Chris Chipman is married with a family in the suburbs nowadays, but in reality, he's just a more put-together version of Bob. Depressing politics spurging and all, and Chris enables Bob. Source KF. Oh. Oh well,
that's depressing.
If that's real, I mean, at least he made it a bit further than Bob, I guess, but still a bit sad to hear.
Okay, yeah.
The end.
Oh no.
Oh, or is it?
It's a shame that he retired the series. Like, imagine if he kept going.
Oh my god.
The first comment is, "I'm here because of Magic Mush."
Oh. Oh, I'm sure Bob was like furious when he saw that.
Does he know who Magic Mush is? I know Chris Bors does. I don't know if
I mean, he has to at least be somewhat aware of him.
Yeah, I still haven't seen Magic Mush's video on MovieBob, but I know I probably know much of the MovieBob lore anyway.
Yeah.
Do you want to watch one more of his Game Over Thinkers at all? Would you have enough time to?
I don't know. How long have we been going on for?
We've been going for like 3.5 hours.
Yeah, I think that might be a good cutoff point. It's a little late for me.
Yeah, there's still plenty of MovieBob content to cover another time.
Yeah, I would definitely be up for doing this again sometime.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to just be MovieBob. It could just be like anything that you'd be interested in, or I could be on your channel. We could talk about movies. That works too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So more of the story. Shigeru Miyamoto sent Rosalina to save MovieBob's life. Also, be a good example for your bullies, but also crush them into dust. Make sure that they can never get a leg up on you ever again. Show your dominance. Adam Sandler raped all of our childhoods. Scream 4 made all of us not special. And Godzilla King of the Monsters is God. That's what we took from the stream. What did you learn?
I feel like I learned absolutely nothing. In fact, I feel like I actually got dumber because of what we just watched.
I'm very sorry to hear that, but that's just how it is. Anything else you want to say before we end the stream?
I guess just in general, just to kind of plug my stuff real quick, if you guys are interested, check out my channel. I post videos occasionally. I just did a video on The Empire Strikes Back. I don't know when my next video is going to be. Hopefully not in another, it won't take like months for it to come out. But Dr. Storm, thank you so much for having me on. I had a really good time. And you're more than welcome to come on one of my streams if you'd like to. Thanks everybody in the chat. I hope I was tolerable enough for all of you.
I mean, I'm more annoying than anyone else who's ever been on my streams. I'm going to be honest.
I don't know. I mean, I think that's debatable.
You haven't been around, so you haven't been around me when I'm around some of my other friends. I'll just say that.
All right, I'll take your word for it.
All right, well, thanks again, everyone, for coming out, and I hope you all have a good night.
Yep, you too. Have a good night.
All right, the stream ended.